Righty.
Crusader football is streaming online at AdAstraRadio.com and on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra Radio app. Coming up, the Midway Motors drive to the game as Aaron West and Chris Shank break down tonight's matchup. You're listening to Buhler Crusader football on HKFM.
Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hutch are proud supporters of high school sports. And of course we are proud to support our community any way we can. Good luck to all of our athletes this season. We hope you have a fun and memorable and most of all, healthy season. Be safe. Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the giant corner of Lorraine and 30th in Hutch or online 24/7 at allensamuelshutch.com. Come by. Let's be friends.
HKFM.
Well, tonight the HCC Road to a Championship moves on to the State Semifinals with just 4 teams remaining. In Class 4A football, the Buhler Crusaders on the hunt for a 4th ever trip to the state title game next Saturday. Pleasant good evening, everyone. Aaron West alongside Chris Shank, Tyler Adams, and Cliff Shank. Welcome into the Midway Motors drive to the game. Tonight in the West of 4A, it's a rematch of AVCTL foes as Buhler hosts Andover Central here at Crusaders Stadium. The only blemish to the Crusaders' 10-1 record so far on the season, a Week 2 loss to the Jaguars in Andover, 21-19. Last week, Buhler edged Mulvane at home in a defensive affair, 7-0. It was the Crusaders' 35th playoff win all time, advancing them to their 7th ever semifinal matchup. The game tied at all zeros heading into the second half. A 68-yard Sam Elliott run on Buhler's first drive of the third quarter may have been the difference in the game. That play set up a 1st and goal to go at the 2. 3 plays later, Bradley Neal converted the game's only score on a QB sneak. On the night, Elliott compiled 249 yards on 33 carries as his historic career continues with that effort last week. Now just 18 yards separate him from the school's career all-time record.
And that is an impressive record because at some schools, if you're a throwing school, the passing records are what you really chase and what really say a lot. At Buhler, with the fact that Coach Porter in his offense, out of the eye, the tailback's a featured position. You go before that, Coach Porter, who had his big run of success. The tailback was the feature player. I mean, if you're a tailback at Buhler High School, traditionally, you're going to be the marquee guy. And if you are the all-time leading rusher at that position, that says just a ton of compliments Sam Elliott's way.
Absolutely. Sam at 5,058. Tanner Fisher just 17 ahead of him now at 5,075. It was an off night for Buhler's passing attack as senior Bradley Neal held to just 2 of 10 for 50 yards and an INT. Afterwards, the coaches and the players both talked about the game ball being a little slick and hard to grip, and certainly we've got to get that fixed tonight.
Yeah, last week I think the cold maybe factored into some of it. It was the first really kind of colder night that we've had this year, and I haven't really looked at the temperatures, but it just doesn't quite feel as cold out there this evening as it was last week. And, yeah, taking care of the football, something the Crusaders have done so well. Last week was hopefully just kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, and everything just off a little bit in that passing game, a bobbled or a low snap here. Even on some of the pitch plays from Brad to Sam, a little bit of difficulty Friday. Things just off kilter a little bit. I'm sure they focused on that in practice this week and are ready to get back in the right direction there.
Yeah, they definitely had troubles with the mesh a lot during the last week's game against Mulvane, especially during the option. There was a lot of times where Bradley was trying to mesh it from Tanner Tushing, the fullback, onto Sam, but then they bobbled it almost every time. And then also with the QB draws and everything, like you said, Aaron, it was definitely an off night for them. But the thing is, Sam was still able to get 249 yards, and we got the win.
At the end of the day, the win is what matters. Buhler's defense continues to be stellar. They held Mulvane to just 50 rushing yards. And limited quarterback Mason Ellis, 9 of 26 for 98 yards. You look at what this defense has done now. Down the stretch in their last 6 games, they're holding opponents under 100 yards average per contest, plus the Black Knights plus 19 in takeaways. They had 2 huge ones last week that really sealed the win, and they have solidified themselves as a play-making defense.
Yeah, when your defense turns the opponent over as much as Buhler does, that just takes a ton of pressure off your offense. It takes a ton of pressure off of everybody. And there's a reason why in football they talk so much about turnovers. You know, turnovers help set up a shorter field. They help limit your opponent's chances to score. And anytime you can force an opponent to have empty possessions, that's a good thing.
It is a little bit nicer out tonight than it was last weekend. It is 48 degrees. The wind's a little windier, 14 miles an hour out of the south. And there is a little bit of cloud cover tonight, which will keep the temperature from dropping like a rock like it did last week. So hands should be a little bit warmer, maybe a little better to hold on to the football with.
Yeah, you've had a week to practice in that colder weather now. Of course, you played in it last Friday, so hopefully they adjust to that well. The Crusaders 3-3 all-time in the sub-state round with wins in 90, 13 and 16. Tonight's matchup with Andover Central, the 8th in the series and the 3rd in the postseason. And the Jags' Week 2 win over the Crusaders, Sam Elliott limited to just 21 yards on 13 carries. That's by far his fewest this season. I think we'll all agree up here, we don't think Sam will have just 21 yards tonight, but certainly they need him to be successful to have a better, more Sam Elliott-like night.
Well, I was talking to Chris earlier. You know, I don't think we really care if Sam breaks the rushing record. We just want the win. So, you know, they may borrow a page out of K-State's book and just try to get the ball in Sam's hand any way they can. So there may be a lot of little passes out in the flat, get the ball in space, and get Sam the ball, whether it's passing, lateraling it. You know, we didn't do a lot of laterals and stuff early in the season, so I see some options and things along those lines also.
Well, he has proven this year that if he has the ball, whether he's rushing or catching it in space, he is so adept at making guys miss, at changing directions, and then when they do try to tackle him, he oftentimes just takes them with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think about last week there was an option where we were moving to the south, where it was a pitch. They tossed to the right. It looked like Sam was going to be tackled for a loss, and then he just ducked out of a tackle, used his strength. And one of the attributes that Sam has that we haven't talked a lot about is his ability to run sideways versus his ability to run straight up. I mean, he's just about as quick going side to side as he is running straight ahead, and that's a huge asset and a reason why he has had such success as in the backfield for the Crusaders.
Well, it reminds me of water bug out there. He can go quickly from zigzagging up the field. Of course, his strength and the ability to carry tacklers, he gets so many yards after contact.
He does. That yards after contact would be a very interesting number to see this season. Tonight's winner will face the East winner in next Saturday's state championship game at Hummer Sports Complex in Topeka. In the East tonight, St. James will battle Bishop Miege for a second time this season. The two foes together account for the last 7 state titles won. In Class 4A, the team that won the one before that, the Crusaders in 2013.
Well, I call this game the public school state championship game because it seems like the parochial schools play a little bit different league than the public schools. But
yes,
I think whoever wins this game's got a great chance to beat St. James or Bishop Miege, or because they're not as dominant as they've been in the past.
I think it'll be a good game next Saturday. Our Midway Motors drive to the game, getting set for Buhler and Andover Central tonight. We'll be back with more right after this. You're listening to Crusader Football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You're listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Visit Midway Motors on 30th Street in Hutchinson or online at midwaymotors.com. Coming up this day in Crusader history as the Midway Motors Drive to the Game continues on HKFM.
At Midway Motors, we believe in being there for our customers for every mile of life.
Midway Motors can service all makes and models of vehicles. With 5 locations and some of the best technicians in the state, we can handle any service you need, including warranty work on Ford, Lincoln, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Midway Motors is also home of the dollar over cost on tires, giving you the best deal on tires you can find. Visit midwaymotors.com or stop by one of our 5 locations today. Midway Motors, for every mile of life.
Hutchinson Community College is enrolling now for spring. Take classes in Hutchinson, McPherson, Newton, or online. They're affordable, convenient, and flexible. Call 888-GO-HUTCH or email admissions@hutchcc.edu today.
Fall has arrived and a chill is in the air. Stay nice and warm outside with a coat heater right inside your jacket. Sunflower Electric has coat heaters in stock that heat up to 4 hours on a single charge. Use your favorite coat and install the heater with the included Velcro and even transfer it from jacket to jacket. Now it's only $59.95 and makes a great gift. Hurry, quantities are limited. Call today at 620-662-0531 or stop by Sunflower Electric at 100 West 2nd in Hutchinson.
Hey sports fans, all great teams include a great defensive strategy. That's what insurance is all about. Strategy to defend you, your family, and your possessions. This is Jordan Fee. I'm proud to help our clients plan their strategy of protection through the broad range of services we offer at Fee Insurance Group. Call to find out how we can protect your health, life, property, business, and even your retirement savings. Since 1883, we've been here to stand between you and risk.
Visit feeinsurancegroup.com, your local trusted choice agent.
HKFM.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back on our Midway Motors drive to the game. Time for This Day in Crusader History. We'll take you back to this night on 2016 in Mays, with the Crusaders. It was a cold night then, too. Won over Mays South 27-7. Quarterback Ethan White threw 2 touchdown passes to tight end Brendan Webb in that game. Braden Rose knocked in a pair of field goals from 38 and 27 yards. Buhler finished 11-2, runner-up to Bishop Miege at 4A State that year. And 2 previous games on November 19th, including 2016, Buhler is 1-1. Another historical note in his 34 seasons now, as head coach Steve Warner has amassed a record of 267 and 103. He is currently tied for 8th all-time with Steve Wagner for wins in Kansas history. And interestingly enough, Warner is 2nd all-time now among active winningest coaches. That's coaches that are active, behind only Silver Lake's C.J. Hamilton. You think about what he's done here in 15, now 16 seasons. I know you were visiting with Coach Porter before the game. At the end of Coach Porter's tenure, when he left the program, there was really a period there where Buhler struggled to win football games, period. And boy, Coach really revived that history and has done so much with it.
Yeah, you really got to see what happens, when a coach is out of school for a long time and they're a successful coach, a good coach. They build up a program, they build up success. But when Coach Porter retired and Buhler kind of went into some dark ages football-wise, it really shows just, what happens to a program if you don't have that continuity and consistency. And Coach Warner was able to kind of build it up back from the ashes and has had a great run here. And the thing about it, when you have a coach that's been at a place for a long time, it says a lot about their character, because if somebody's kind of a shady character, they're not going to last in a place. And B, it just kind of starts setting up where kids in youth football start running the same plays, the junior high. Everybody kind of starts getting goals all set in motion where they're all shooting for the same thing, and that's what Coach Warner's been able to build here at Buhler.
Andover Central at 10-1, looking to advance on to the state championship round for a 3rd time in their short history. Their lone loss this season came at the hands of Salina Central in Week 6, 21-14. Transfer quarterback Kai Kuntz has thrown for just shy of 1,800 yards this season and represents yet another dual-threat quarterback. Last week at Wamego, he rushed for a season-high 90 yards on 4 carries. Buhler was able to limit his favorite target, Cooper Tabor, in that Week 2 meeting. It was the short passing game that really hurt Buhler. Running back Ashton Barkdale and tight end Brock Stupka hurt Buhler with a combined 5 catches for 124 yards. Barkdale also ran for 91. So I think I mentioned to you, Chris, before the game, we've got to limit the scrambling tonight of Kai Kuntz. We get pressure on him. We've really got to force him to make a bad play or no play and not allow those backs and receivers underneath to burn us.
Yeah, that's one of the things in Coach Warner's scouting report, talking about how he really hurt us on his legs the last time. And, so he's a dangerous quarterback. He's a guy, like we said, came from Bishop or Cape and Mount Carmel, so he hit the transfer portal. And, he's quite the athlete, Tyler.
Yeah, and another thing is what hurt us and what won them a game is a short little screen pass. And so Sam actually absolutely nailed him too. And so we beat him up the whole game. But hopefully this week, tonight, we can have the front four do what they did last week and what they've done almost the last few weeks, is just be able to shred some paper, basically, and just absolutely destroy them.
Yeah, Buhler's done that without rushing a lot of extra guys. Their front four has been so successful against running quarterbacks the last 2 weeks. Hopefully that continues. Defensively, Andover Central holding opponents to 10 points per contest. They've allowed more than 13 only 3 times. They base out of a 3-man front with 5 DBs, but will give Buhler's offense multiple looks, accounting for outside linebacker Dylan Savage and nickelback Noah Garcia will be key. Those guys like to blitz quite a bit, lead the team in tackles on the air. So even though it's just that 3-man front, going to get a lot of different looks from the Jags.
Yeah, anytime somebody's running a 3-man front, what that means is they have an insane amount of confidence in their defensive linemen. And one of the guys that we're going to talk about a lot tonight, Isaac Sheeran, he's already a preferred walk-on or supposed to head to K-State next year. And you don't get to be a preferred walk-on at the Big 12 level without being a serious athlete.
Absolutely. We'll see what the Jags defense throws our way tonight. Looking forward to what should be a fantastic game. We'll continue to break down the matchup. We'll get armored up next with defensive coordinator Coach Coles, his thoughts on this Jags offense and what his Black Knights need to do. When we come back, Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You're on the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Listen to Crusader football on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra radio app. Your home for Crusader football. Join Aaron West and Chris Shank every Friday night on HKFM.
At Dick's Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick, inviting you to stop by our locally owned station at 1215 East 4th in Hutch. Dick's offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly service. Wherever you're headed, every journey begins with a stop at Dick's Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutch.
Many humans can attest the pain of arthritis can affect the quality of their lives. This pain also affects our dogs and even has the potential to prematurely end their lives. Hi, this is Dr. Randy Smith from Appalachian Animal Hospital. We have seen an explosion of canine anti-inflammatory drugs and joint support supplements. Dog owners can now help ease the aches and pains of arthritis and return these affected pets to a walk in the park or a game of fetch. For more information about these medications and the care of canine arthritis, call us at Appalachian Animal Hospital, 662-0515.
Well, we're back here in the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Time to get armored up as we break down the Andover Central Jaguars. Defensive coordinator Coach Jason Coles joins us on the program. Coach, just want to jump back to last week briefly. You know, we talk a lot about the speed your defense is playing with and flying to the ball. I thought that really showed no more than on the play where Sear catches the big pass down your sideline. Matthew Eddy, Brock McCurdy, both right there. Matt knocks the ball free. Brock's able to recover it, and that ended up being a huge play and maybe the difference in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, that's a play that I'm incredibly proud of as a coach, because so much of what we, try to teach as coaches and work with the kids on a daily basis came through on that play. A lot of times you see that happen and it's throw your hands up and the play's, giving up that play. And I think that's probably what the receiver thought too. At one point you freeze the film, and as Matthew's closing in, we have 6 kids, 3 DBs and 3 linebackers in hot pursuit. So, the worst thing that's going to happen when you hustle to the ball is you get to celebrate with your buddies when you get there. And that was a prime example of that.
You'll get Andover Central for a second time tonight. A team that likes to establish the run first, and they run quite a bit to their strong side, the bigger side of their line. From the first time you played them to now, kind of how they've changed or what your game plan is for tonight?
They haven't changed a ton as far as their philosophy goes. They have one of the better blocking tight ends we've seen all year. They've got 2 dynamic people in the backfield with the running back and the quarterback, both of which can make plays with their legs. They're both quick. They're both fast. They're shifty and can make plays, just about any time the ball's snapped. They've added a few more wrinkles. The running back was out a couple of weeks with a high ankle sprain, earlier in the season. So they've added a little more running with the quarterback. They'll use the jet package, and they'll use some short passes out of the backfield as kind of an extension of the running game. But they want to play smash mouth. They want to establish the run. They want to be physical up front. So it's something that we're used to seeing. So it should be a great matchup. It should be, an exciting game to watch.
I thought you did a good job the first time around of really limiting what their best receiver was able to do. It's more of the running back out of the backfield, and then I think their tight end had a couple of big plays too, and he's a big, tough guy.
Yeah, he's a tough person, a tough matchup. Like I said, he's a good blocking tight end. They had a couple of plays down the field. And the back out of the backfield, is obviously something that we've worked on a lot. Obviously, the screen to the running back is ingrained in our memory. So I see them using that because it is an extension of their running game and gets him out in free space and gets him out in the open where he can use his speed and use his shiftiness. So I'm assuming we'll see it again, and we'll be ready for it.
All right, Coach. Well, it should be a fun game on the field tonight. Best of luck. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
That is Coach Jason Coles with us as we get ready for Buhler and Andover Central tonight. We're back with more right after this.
The Midway Motors drive to the game continues after this. Still to come, we'll take you around the league with a look at other action in the AVCTL. And Chris Shank brings you tonight's keys to the game. The Midway Motors drive to the game on HKFM.
Neufeld's Flooring, your experts in design and installation of carpet, tile, wood, and vinyl floor covering. Proudly sponsoring Buhler High School activities, Neufeld's Flooring in downtown Buhler.
Hi, this is Cliff Ray with Ray & Sons Roofing Company, and today I brought our 4-year-old grandson, Brogan. Brogan, did you know Ray & Sons Roofing is 80 years old this year? Do you know what that means?
No, Papa.
It means we have a lot of experience. Brogan, did you know we have been the best of the best every year? You know what that means?
What, Papa?
People trust us, and that's a very good thing. For a free inspection or estimate, go to rayandsons.com.
Roof the right way the right way.
HKFM.
And back here in the Midway Motors drive to the game, we've talked about the weather a little bit tonight. Our Phoenix Restoration kickoff conditions. Phoenix Restoration, the company most trusted to deliver quality recovery services when disaster strikes. Call 662-0100. It's a very windy day during the day today, and certainly hoping that stays a little calmer tonight.
Well, it's still windy out, but not as windy as it was earlier today. Winds currently out of the south at 14 miles an hour, and the temperature 48 degrees. There is a few clouds in the sky, and that will help keep the temperature from dropping like a rock. Last weekend, it was clear, and boy, the temperature just dropped terribly fast when the sun went down. So a little warmer tonight, a little more wind.
We'll keep an eye on that wind and how it affects things down on the field this evening. We'll also keep an eye on other semifinal games tonight in our Buhler Dental Care scoreboard. One early 8-man score, Meade leading Hill City at the end of one 6-0. Elsewhere on the network tonight, Canton Galva with a rematch at Little River, the defending 8-man 1 champs. Kingman at Beloit. Kingman trying to make their first state title game in nearly 50 years. Andale's the 2-time defending champs in 3A at southeast of Saline. And Inman and Sedgwick in a big Heart of America battle. That game being played in Newton tonight. Live streaming available on your phone with the Ad Astra Radio app, powered by Next Tech Wireless, because you're mobile and need to stay connected. Online at nexttechwireless.com. We're just about inside 11 minutes before kick of this one tonight. Buhler and Andover Central in the 4A West semifinals. We'll get thoughts from head coach Steve Warner when we come back on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
You're listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Visit Midway Motors on 30th Street in Hutchinson or online at midwaymotors.com. Next, we hear the pregame thoughts of head coach Steve Warner. Your home for Crusader football, HKFM.
At Adams Brown, we go above and beyond to help our clients. Hi, this is Brett Henry. We'd love to show how our team can help your business. Stop by our Hutch location at 30th and Plum or check out adamsbrowncpa.com. Adams Brown, Strategic Allies and CPAs, above and beyond.
Hi, this is Jen Stallman with the Buhler Booster Club. Check out the Crusader Closet at our next home football game. Our customized designs and inventory are updated continually. From seats to blankets, t-shirts and sweatshirts, shorts and joggers, Crusader Closet has you covered for all things Buhler. All sales support our Crusader students through the Buhler Booster Club. Like the Buhler High School Booster Club page on Facebook to keep up to date and outfit your entire family with the Buhler gear they want at the Crusader Closet.
And welcome back on our Midway Motors Drive to the Game, the sub-state round of the 4A state playoffs tonight. The Crusaders hosting the Andover Central Jaguars. Matchup of these two for a second time this season. Time for our pregame thoughts from head coach Steve Warner. Coach, handful of times in your career you've been fortunate to be to this point in the season. I know it means a lot to your kids, and it would sure be awfully fun if you can win tonight.
Well, it really would be 6 times in the 16 years here. It says a lot. It says a lot about our program and about our kids, and we want more. And the saying this week is, let's go to the ship. We want to go to the ship, and we know we're close, and we've got to take care of business. We've got to take care of the football. We've got to find our ground game like we always have, and we've got to find it against these guys because they have 4 really, really good defensive linemen. There's not one of them that is weak. So we've got to be able to find a way to pound the ball on the ground and, of course, use our short passing game, and then our defense has to play like they've been playing. To be honest with you, our defense has been playing all year long. They've done outstanding and continue to fly to the ball, create turnovers, and gang tackle, and good things will happen to us.
Seems like no matter what's been thrown at you, for the most part, you've been able to overcome it this year, and it's been able to make you stronger. And week 2, a long time ago, I think you guys have improved so much since then.
Well, we really have, and a lot of that is our line, the maturity of our defense, the maturity of Bradley, just so many ways we've improved. And I'm proud of the way the kids have worked and where we are right now, and feel like we have a great chance in this game. And obviously, they're a tremendous football team with 4 teams left. That everybody's going to be good, but it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be a hard-hitting game.
Kai Kuntz is their quarterback who can throw. He's got a favorite target who's closing in on 900 yards receiving this year, but he's also a dynamic runner. And I think we said this last week against Mulvane, but he's certainly a guy you're going to have to key on.
Without a doubt, because their whole offense revolves around him, whether he's throwing it or running it. And the running back is very, very good too. He's very fast, but the quarterback is we have to stop him. That'll be the big difference. If we take care of him, and then we'll be all right.
You talked about having to find a way to run the ball. They held you under 40 yards rushing. Sam had just 21 in week 2. I don't sense that'll be the case tonight, but certainly you're going to have your running game up to its normal standards.
Well, we hope it doesn't happen like that. If it does and we have to throw, we do. But that's what we did last time. We threw for over 230 yards, which is pretty uncharacteristic of us, but we've got to find the running game. We want to milk the clock. We want to keep the ball, and we've got to do things to be able to get Sam some yards.
There were a lot of penalties in that game in week 2. Andover Central had over 140 yards in penalties. There were some plays maybe where there was some extracurricular things going on. How important that your kids keep their heads in those situations?
We talk about it all the time. Number one, I believe in sportsmanship. You hit somebody and you hit them as hard as you can, you help them up. You don't do ridiculous things, and we've been preaching all week to the kids. Stay away from it, get away from them, keep your mouth shut, because the second guy's going to get the penalty.
What a fun time to be a Crusader. Go out and have a great game tonight. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That is our pregame thoughts with head coach Steve Warner. We're back with more right after this.
Join head coach Steve Warner for the Crusader Coaches Show, Monday nights at 6:30. You've been listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. The first half kickoff is coming up next, and Chris Shank brings you tonight's keys to the game on HKFM.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Buhler. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member-owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Buhler and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
Manufacturing facilities, warehouses, oil, fuel and water storage, grain elevators, product makers, rooftops, HVAC containment, refineries, garages, and more rely on the quality and integrity of WIFCO products. Go to WIFCOSP.com for more. WIFCO Steel Products, the experts in steel fabrication.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Buhler Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
And back here at Crusader Stadium, live tonight from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth. Allen Samuels of Hutch, where they're dedicated to helping you find the model that best suits your needs. Online at allensamuelshutch.com. Come by, let's be friends. Crusader football this evening, brought to you in part by Hutchinson Community College, by the Mid-Kansas Credit Union, Dix Phillips 66, by Newfelt's Flooring, and by Daylight Donuts. Buhler now at 10-1 on the season, and they have 10 or more wins 7 times going back to 2008 in the last 14 seasons. 35-22 all-time in the playoffs. And their sub-state round record 3-3, 2-3 in Coach Warner's era with wins in 13 and 16. Their offense on the year averaging 39.5 points a game, plus 19 in takeaways. And their defense limiting teams to 13 points. The Jags likewise at 10-1. Their only loss came back in the middle of the season in week 6, averaging 34.5 points a game. They're plus 14 in takeaways, and their defense holding opponents to just 10 points a game. They held Sam Elliott in week 2 to 21 yards rushing. Talked about some of the dynamic players you'll see on their side of the ball on defense. Dylan Savage and Camden Wilson, the two outside linebackers, combined for 10 interceptions on the year. Savage leads the team in tackles with 88. Not to be outdone, the Buhler linebackers that combined for 25 tackles last Friday against Mulvane. And Matthew Eddy had one of the big plays of the game when he knocked the ball loose from Hunter Sire on a big pass play down Buhler's sideline. Co-captains here meeting at the B in midfield tonight before the game. And we'll head down that way here for tonight's coin toss.
Example out here on the field. Control yourselves and your teammates and have a great game. Respect your opponents. You guys have been very hard at this point in the season. Congratulations. Who's calling the play? That's heads. That's tails. Call it now. Said heads, we're going to let it hit the turf. It's heads. Toss. Receive. You guys are kicking, but you go. Kick that way. White.
Andover Central won the toss. They won the ball. Buhler will be kicking off and will have the wind at their back defending the south end zone.
All right, the Crusaders will start the second half with the football. Christopher, let's look at some keys to tonight's game.
All right, I think 3 big keys tonight. Number 3, containing Kai Kuntz. He's got over 1,700 yards passing on the season. He has almost 500 on the ground. He hurt us on the ground the last time with his legs, so keeping him contained and turning him over is going to be big tonight. Number 2, winning the turnover battle. Both these teams have been great at turning over their opponents. Buhler's plus 19 on the season. Andover Central's plus 14 on the season. This Buhler Crusader team is 5th all-time in turnovers forced. They have a chance to move up to 2nd all-time. And then obviously number 1, establishing the run. Last time Sam Elliott was held to 21 yards. That's 122 yards less than his lowest rushing output of any other game this season. I have a feeling that Sam's going to have a few more yards tonight for the Crusaders.
Buhler's 4-3 defense up front. The defensive ends, Bo Van Bruggen and Dalen Coffey. Bo leads the team in sacks with 8. In the middle, the tackle, Gavin Patton. The nose tackle, Jackson Childs. Linebackers, Sam Elliott, Tanner Tustin, and Matthew Eddy. Like linebacker Tanner Tustin leads the team in overall tackles with 119 this season. In the secondary, the safeties, Brock McCurdy and Cody Weiscarver. And the corners, Deontay Campbell and Cameron Campbell. Deontay leads the team with 5 INTs.
I'd like to see Jeff Neal knock it into the end zone. He's got a good tailwind at his back. Let's not screw around with the squib kicks. Just boot it in the end zone and let him take it there.
Jeffrey has 7 touchbacks this season, averaging 42.8 yards per kick. He'll set up at the 40, kicking toward the north end zone. Jaguars with 2 receivers back at the 15. Here's the kick. We're underway with Crusader football here on KWHK Hutchinson. It'll be Cooper Tabor with the return to the 15, to the 20. High steps it to the 25, 30, 35, and drug out of bounds near the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him out right at about the 42, and a solid return on this near Buhler sideline for Cooper Tabor.
Matthew Eddy had a chance to make a play at him, but he was able to break out and kind of leave Matthew Eddy in the dust. Touchdown-saving tackle made that time by the kicker, Jeffrey Neal.
Yeah, his kick almost made it to the end zone, but it came up a couple yards short, and a great return.
Jags from their own 42. Kai Kuntz, senior quarterback, 67% completion for just under 1,800 yards. He'll be out of the gun with a receiver in motion. Trips right on first down. And a big running play to the 50 and into Buhler territory across the 50 to the 49-yard line goes senior tailback Ashton Barkdale. Barkdale came in with just under 1,000 yards on the season, averaging 6.2 per play.
Yeah, with that carry right there, it put Barkdale over 1,000 yards on the season.
8-yard carry up the middle on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Jags in their all-white unis with the black lettering, golden helmets going right to left. Here in this opening period with Kuntz out of the gun, Barkdale behind him, 2 receivers to the right side. Play action, and Kuntz is going to be dropped back in Jag territory at the 44-yard line.
Dalen Coffey with the big quarterback sack in there to help finish him off. The all-time leading sack leader for Buhler, Bo Van Bruggen. Great play there for the Black Knight defense.
And that's definitely what we need, allowing an 8-yard run and then being able to get a sack to make it 3rd and 8. Huge sack by Dalen Coffey.
Play action that time on the fake to Barkdale. And Buhler's defense getting penetration against that line for Andover Central. Andrew Mann, Drew Daniels on the left side. Aiden Tomer, Dawson Howard on the right side. Nate Peak is the center. They run to their strong side most often. Out of the gun with 4 wide receivers. Here is Kuntz to the single side along the sideline. And is it complete or not? The Jags say they have a first down.
Wow, they're going to wave it as a catch.
Tight-roping the far sideline in Buhler territory at about the 42, and the catch made.
That time the Jaguars went trips to the left and then rolled Kuntz out to the one receiver side. I don't know how in the world he kept in bounds to make that catch.
Forward to the Buhler 42-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. 2 receivers left this time. Kuntz with a wing back to the left. Looking to throw now, scrambling up the middle, out of the grasp of a lineman. Big hole at the 20, 15, 10, 5 touchdown Jags. And we talked about in the pregame that Buhler has to limit the scrambling ability of Kai Kuntz, and he goes for a 42-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Kuntz, great run that time. It was a scripted pass play, but the receivers were covered well, and Kuntz was able to break out of a tackle and then just slither forward and take it to the house from over 40 yards out.
So Andover Central converting on a 3rd and long, and then a 42-yard scramble touchdown run by Kai Kuntz. The snap high of the extra point. They get it down. The kick is up by Isaac Say.
There's a flag, late flag.
And a late flag out at the 5-yard line.
And it's going to be on Andover Central, just looking at the reaction of the Crusader players. If you remember, something we didn't talk about in the pregame much, Andover Central was a team that just was penalized left and right against us. They have a tendency to talk a little smack, and it looks like there maybe was a face mask possibly on the Andover Central, just trying to read the officials.
Somebody shoved somebody from behind, maybe.
The extra point, no good.
No, it was good.
Or is off for the moment anyway.
Yeah, personal foul. The kick was good, but the personal foul is going to be assessed on the kickoff, so Buhler should get some good field position.
All right, so you mentioned the 14 penalties in their first meeting for 140 yards, and already that is the first tonight. But Andover Central on that series, you maybe get a little lucky with the catch on the sideline on 3rd down, but Buhler's got to shore up the middle of the field.
Well, they will be kicking into a strong wind, too.
Yeah, it's one of those things that Kuntz is going to get some yards tonight, so the key thing is just making sure that he doesn't have too much more of a scramble tonight.
Well, that's how they beat us last time, the long run by Kuntz.
4 plays, 58 yards on the score, 7-0. And the Jags will set up from their own 25-yard line with a 15-yard personal foul penalty. Crusader football brought to you by the Buhler Booster Club, by Hutchinson Family Dental, Jackson Meat, by Risa Prino, and by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs. This is Isaac Say, who averages 54.5 yards a kick. Puts the right leg into it. It's a high, wobbly kick to the near side. It'll be taken at the Buhler 39-yard line. Couple of yards return on this near sideline by Brock McCurdy, and they will mark him down near the 42.
So the Crusaders are going to have great field position here to open their first possession of the game. Andover Central took the ball because they wanted to try to score first, and now the Crusaders just have to answer the bell.
And the Crusaders are going to start right where Andover Central started, so maybe we have the same ending.
Bradley Neal has completed 56% of his passes this year for 1,200 yards, 17 TDs, 4 INTs. They'll start with a wingback and Coffee in motion. Out of the I formation on 1st and 10 from the 42. Play action, and it's going to be a keeper around the far side by Brad Neal.
That was a great fake.
Brad Neal faked the handoff, and will boot around the far end, gets across the 45 and up to the 47.
And just from looking how Bradley was carrying the ball that time, looked like it was a run pass option. He saw there was some green grass ahead and elected to just tuck it and run it and scamper for those 5 yards. Good decision there by Bradley Neal.
He made a great fake to Sam Elliott. Everybody went for the fake, and he got an easy 5.
31st carry of the year for Bradley now with 40 yards. They stay with 2 wings, this time stacked to the left side on 2nd and 5. And a fake to Elliott again. It is Bradley Neal, the second straight run play to open the game, and they've got a first down into Jag territory at the 47. Well, Coach Warner throwing in a couple of wrinkles here to start the game.
Yeah, Andover Central knowing that Sam Elliott's the guy to stop, so Coach Warner running Bradley Neal back-to-back times, catching him off guard, and the Crusaders have their first down of the night.
Sam Elliott with 264 carries on the season for just shy of 2,200 yards, averaging 8.3 a carry. Out of the gun on 1st and 10, they'll put Brock McCurdy across the formation in motion. 2 receivers near side, quick throw by Neal, and it is hauled in by Brock McCurdy on the near sideline. That'll be up near the 42-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 on first down. Brad completes his first pass.
Well, Coach Warner doing a great job of keeping the Jags off center here as they have back-to-back run plays by Bradley Neal, and then the first pass play. Sam Elliott has yet to touch the ball. The Crusader offense is moving.
Bradley Neal with his 71st completion of the year. 15th ball caught by Brock McCurdy. Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 5. First carry by Sam is an inside run. The ball is jarred loose on a hard hit. Jaguars say they have it at the 41-yard line.
We still haven't seen it. Now flags come out. It's going to be on Andover Central because the official that threw it, they're going to be the officials getting them for spinning the football. But this Jaguar team not very disciplined.
But I'm assuming that came after the play.
The white hat has still not signaled who has possession.
A rare fumble by Sam Elliott. He had one last week, just 2 coming into the game, and he got jarred hard at the 41-yard line after a short carry. The officials in the middle of the field still discussing here.
After the fumble recovery, unsportsmanlike conduct, Andover Central, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's already the second personal foul on Andover Central tonight. And so that will take away some of the field position that they would have had they been able to keep possession where the fumble happened. But yeah, like you mentioned, Aaron, a rare fumble by Sam Elliott. The Crusaders just the 6th fumble that we've lost this entire season.
And the Jags up 7-0, have it back after forcing a turnover. 8:20 to play here in the first from their own 25. And a near side run being pursued by the Crusader defense. Ashton Barktle to the left side of the formation. Forward progress to the 28, picks up 3 on first down.
Nice tackle in space made that time by the high safety, Brock McCurdy, after they picked up about 4 yards.
Well, Buhler's got themselves in a bit of a pickle here. They gave up the opening touchdown drive to the Jags. And a turnover on offense after they were moving the ball. It'll be 2nd down and 8 here with Kuntz out of the gun, Barktle behind him, twin receivers to the right side. Here's a RPO around this left end by Kuntz after the fake to Barktle. And Kuntz out of bounds right near the first down stick at the 35.
Yeah, and that read option, what Kuntz is reading is the defensive end. If the defensive end commits to the running back, then he pulls it, loops around the edge. That's exactly what he did, and he had enough for the first down that time.
That'll move the chains for the Jags to the 35-yard line. Buhler in their all-black home uniforms tonight with the maroon numerals and those black helmets. Didn't give up a score in a 7-0 win last week. Already 7 points on the board tonight for Andover Central. Trips in a bunch formation to the right on 1st and 10. And they'll hand it to Barkdale, who has room along the far side of the 40. Flag comes out in the backfield. That's probably holding. And then the official throwing his hat on the near side at the 45-yard line. And boy, both coaches need to haul their guys in here and really get them focused.
Well, the thing I can tell you, and I'm really impressed with the Crusaders, we are keeping our cool. I mean, it has been all Andover Central doing the extracurricular stuff tonight. And when officials are having to throw their hat, that means they've already thrown their flag. It's going to be coming back, I think, big against Andover Central here, hopefully.
The game's not even 5 minutes in, and the Jaguars are already going to have 4 penalties on total.
So let me ask you this. After you've thrown your flag and your hat, what do you throw next?
I don't want to go there.
I mean, I've hardly ever seen an official throw their hat, and you can tell that these officials were prepared. The word has gotten out that Andover Central likes to run their mouth and do some extra stuff.
The initial call was an illegal block.
After the play, personal foul, offense, 15-yard penalty.
They're going to tack on 2 penalties.
It's going to be big.
25 yards total, fellas. Remember how many penalties, how many yardage? It was like 170?
140.
Okay, 140 yards.
You know, this game is very reminiscent of the first game. Buhler got off to a horrible start, dug themselves the deep hole. Andover Central had a zillion penalties, and we just got to capitalize. We got to make them pay for these mistakes.
Boy, the tough thing for Ashton Barkdale is he had a 10-yard run. It's all wiped off the board. It pushes the ball all the way back to the 19-yard line.
These guys are reminding me of the Raiders.
So it'll be 1st and 25 from the 19, the first down stick all the way up to the Andover Central 45-yard line. 1st and 10. 3 wide receiver look, 2 to the right. Kuntz out of the gun, hands it off. Barkdale inside carry across the 20.
Barkdale on the right side.
And forward progress to the 22-yard line. He'll pick up 3 yards on first down.
Nice job by Bo Van Bruggen dropping him after a short gain. And big thing for the Crusaders, we have him in second and forever now. We just can't let him out of jail here.
And here's the thing, that's our problem, is allowing big plays. We're very consistent on the defensive side, but allowing those plays has been hurting us a lot, especially that Week 2 game.
Well, the Crusaders, that playmaking defense, can they make a big play here? 2nd down and 23. Kuntz to pass, steps up in the pocket. One-on-one coverage to the near side. It hits the receiver, Barkdale, out of the backfield in the helmet and bounces away out of bounds at midfield, incomplete.
Yeah, Barkdale's a tough matchup for the Crusaders because he was a back out of the backfield that time, releasing on a pass route. So Sam Elliott was forced into pass coverage. Sam did a great job of going step for step with him and just staying right in his hip pocket. And Barkdale thankfully didn't see the ball come in. It popped right off his helmet. It was a very catchable ball, so luckily it brings up 3rd and long.
And Coots put that really in the perfect spot.
That'll bring up a big 3rd down play. Jaguars 1 for 1 on 3rd down. They converted a 3rd and long in their first series. 3rd and 23 from the 22. Single back in the backfield to the right of Kuntz. 4 wide receivers scrambling to the far side. Steps up. Now going back to the middle of the field at the 10-yard line. Coming to the near side, and he'll throw it out of bounds. Great coverage on the near side. Javon Ostrom staying right with Cooper Tabor, and there's a flag down in the backfield.
And it's going to be an intentional grounding, as at the high school level, you can't just chuck it out of bounds like Kuntz did right there.
He practically threw it up in the bleachers.
Well, I was proud of Javon Ostrom, the coverage he had on the near side, the safety on Cooper Tabor.
That'll be loss of down if that is the call.
Tabor, the leading receiver for this Jags team, with just under 900 yards. And the call is intentional grounding. That is
the penalties continue to pile up for the Jags. That's
already the 5th.
5th. And we're not even we're not even underneath 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
We played 5.5 minutes.
So back inside the 10, near the 7-yard line. Is this your definition of 4th and a country mile?
Yes.
And you can't be having this in a 4A state semifinal game.
No, they can. They can keep doing this all night long. It's fine with me.
From the 6-yard line, the punter will punt it out of the end zone. It is a short, wobbly kick. Brock McCurdy's going to get away from it. It'll take a Jaguar roll to near midfield at the 49-yard line. Well, Buhler is going to have good field position on their second series of the night. They were moving the ball in that first series, and a rare Sam Elliott fumble. You know this Jags defense is going to key and hit Sam Elliott as hard as they can.
Yeah, Sam, I mean, they're going to bring it. I mean, this team from Andover Central only had 5 less plus turnovers than Buhler this year. And so, I mean, yeah, this Andover Central team is one that you got to be wary of.
6:19 to play in the first. Andover Central 7, Buhler nothing. Crusaders from the Andover Central 49. Here is Elliott. Good blocking on this near side. Gets across the 45 and up to the 43-yard line. That offensive line for the Crusaders tonight. At the tackles, Jackson Childs and Bodie Redenbaugh. Brian Regier and Wes Miller, the guards, with Blake Ellis, the center.
Good to see that run by Sam Elliott. Great blocking up front. Sam was able to get to the second level before he even had a hand put on him.
Sam picks up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. Clock running, 5:47 to play in the first. From the near side hash mark. 12 on the play clock as Brock McCurdy comes in motion. They'll have 2 receivers near side. Lone running back Elliott to the left of Neal. Handoff. And an inside carry. Forward progress to the 41-yard line is going to set up a 3rd down and short, 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Crusaders.
Yeah, good hard run by Sam Elliott that time. A great job protecting it. That time the Andover Central defenders literally were trying to just grab the ball out of his hands and tossed him backwards. Noah Garcia was one of the players from Andover Central that stopped Sam there.
Buhler averaging 243 rush yards a game. 113 passing. Big 3rd down and 2 at the 41 at the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the far side, also a wingback to that left side of the formation with Brad out of the gun. They bring pressure off the edge. The pass
picked off.
Is picked off.
Yeah, it was Noah Garcia over there, jumped the route. It was just a little drag route in the far flat, and Garcia did a great job of just laying off, and then the instant the ball left Bradley Neal's hands, just dove right in front of the Buhler intended receiver, and the second forced turnover tonight. Just the 5th interception of the year thrown by Bradley Neal.
That turnover margin has rapidly vanished.
That
They
is
picked up 2, we've lost 2, boom, it's gone.
Nickelback Noah Garcia with his 2nd INT of the year. And Andover Central has the ball back up 7-0 here. 4:46 to play in the first. Jags from their own 37. Kai Kuntz out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to this near side. They'll put Tabor in motion. They fake in the jet sweep back across the formation. And that's going to be pass interference at the 50-yard line. That'll be Buhler's first defensive penalty of the night. The intended target over the middle of the field that time for Andover Central was Evan Eck.
Yeah, it was Cameron Campbell, the corner here on the near side, hip check Eck, but it looked like he timed it perfect because you can hit the receiver as soon as the ball's there, and it looked like it wasn't early, but with Buhler not having had a penalty called on him yet this evening, gets their first right there.
A little history about the Eck family. They have countless successful wrestlers in that family, and it's almost like the Pyle family for the McPherson basketball team. They just keep coming and coming and winning state titles after state title.
That'll move the ball into Buhler territory at the 47-yard line. Huge penalty. 1st and 10 Jags. Kuntz with Barkdale to his right. They'll hand it off to Barkdale running across the formation to the left side. Breaks out of a tackle, has the 1st down and more. He carries a couple of Crusaders, including Cameron Campbell, who's now going to be whistled for a flag for throwing Barkdale to the turf at the 35-yard line. And boy, things just unraveling in this first quarter.
Well, that's one of those things when you're dealing with a team that maybe plays a little bit on the wild side and runs their mouth. You cannot fall to their level, and Cameron just kind of tossed him right after the whistle, and so the Crusaders get the personal foul, and you can't let them get in your head.
17-yard line.
That'll move the ball to the 17-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. 20 seniors on this Crusader roster looking to make their way to the state title game. Buhler last there in 2016. 1st and 10 out of the gun. Kuntz, Tabor faking the jet sweep. Barkdale up the middle at the 10, at the 5, to the end zone. Ball is loose. He was not down.
They say touchdown.
They're going to rule touchdown. They say he crossed the plane with the ball, enough for the score. It was popped out right there at the end of the play, but touchdown Jaguars.
I would love to see the replay on that, because if it's out before it breaks the plane, then that'd be a fumble. But as soon as it breaks the plane, you can fumble it away. But it looked like he was stopped just short when that ball came flying out.
Well, they would have had the ball inside the 2 or 3 yard line anyway.
Tough thing right now is Buhler's defense is getting gashed up the middle.
Well, what's happening? I mean, Andover Central's front 5 is just blowing our front 4 off the line right now.
This Andover Central
extra point is good, and now 14-0. Jags up, 4:13 left to play here in the first. Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
When disaster strikes your home or business, shop local. Hi, this is Robin Swanson. My husband Ryan and I and our team at Phoenix Restoration are proud to be Reno County's only locally owned fire and water restoration company. When pipes break, fire strikes, or the unthinkable hits your home or business, call us. With over 10 years of experience, we know how to help you recover. Check us out at phoenixrestorationandroofing.com. Phoenix Restoration. We'll help you rise again after your disaster.
Choose Goins Renovations for your next custom tile project, kitchen, or bathroom remodel. Goins Renovations specializes in quality at a fair price. For a consultation, give them a call at 620-664-7669.
HKFM.
14-0 Andover Central, as the Jags will kick off Buhler with 2 turnovers on their 2 possessions tonight. They were moving the ball in both of those. A Sam Elliott fumble, and then Noah Garcia picking off a Brad Neal pass. Crusaders have got to hold on to the ball. This will be Isaac Say to kick from the 40. And taken at the 15. To the 20, 25, and not much else. Matthew Eddy is going to be down at the 25-yard line. That's where Buhler will start 1st and 10. Well, first things first, obviously, you're down 14. You can only get one of those back at a time, but you got to start by taking care of the football.
Yeah, Buhler just needs a long, sustained drive, not turn it over, and finally try to get some confidence going in the run game and just in the offense overall.
I would take a 75-yard run by Mr. Elliott.
Buhler was down 14-0 in that Week 2 matchup. They scored 19 unanswered to actually take the lead in that game at one point. Here's Brad out of the gun, 2 wings to the near side. They'll run with Elliott that way, and boy, this Jaguar defense gobbles up Sam Elliott on the near side. Big tackle made over there by Big Drew Daniels.
Yeah, Nate Peak in there as well. I mean, they are doing a great job of just pouring through the line. And the Crusaders with some tougher down and distance now, 2nd and long.
This is by far the biggest team we have played all year. They are absolutely massive.
Buhler's going to have to throw the football tonight. Bradley Neal had a career-high 223 yards in that Week 2 matchup in Andover on September the 10th. Here is Bradley out of the gun. Sam to his left. They go with 2 single receivers, and Brad airmails it over the head of Brock McCurdy out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
And McCurdy had a little pocket in the Andover Central defense that if the ball had been on target, he'd been able to probably pick up maybe the 1st down, but the ball unfortunately just a little high, and he couldn't get to it, and so bring up a 3rd and long.
St. James Academy and Bishop Miege playing on the east side tonight. Have scores coming up. 3rd down and 12 at the 22. 3 receivers to the far side. Bradley out of the gun. Elliott, the lone back in the backfield. Bradley unloads. Matthew Eddy caught at the 45, 40, 35, 30. Down to the 25 and Russell to the turf at the 21-yard line. Is that Sam Elliott out of the backfield?
It's Sam Elliott.
Yes.
A great wheel route.
Yeah, the Crusaders ran a trips left set that time, so they have running backs out in slot spots, and Sam that time just went up the field and then broke towards the pylon. What a great pass play and some life for the Crusader offense.
Well, that was a brilliant throw by Bradley, too. 57 yards, 2nd longest reception of the year. Longest by Sam Elliott. Elliott coming into the season limited in his past receptions, but a big one there. Here's Sam on the ground on a left side carry. And down to the 16-yard line. Well, they needed something big to happen. And, boy, that was the time for it to happen, too.
No doubt. And I love the play call because the Crusaders have the wind at their back this quarter, so got to use it. And that just takes a lot of pressure off the Crusader run game now that Andover Central knows that they have to defend us through the air as well.
That was Sam's 8th catch of the year. Now with 164 yards. Second down. And a left side run, nothing there.
And that was big Drew Daniels, the nose guard. If you run a three-man front, you got to have a beast there at nose guard, and that's why they're able to run that three-man front.
Nose of the football touching the 15. It'll be third down. They need the 11-yard line for a first down. So 3rd and 4. Down to 1:40 to play here in this opening quarter. 14-0 Andover Central. Buhler needs something out of this trip down the field. Out of the I formation, single receivers either side on third down. Play action. Brad roaming to his right, wants to throw, tipped up in the air. A diving catch in the end zone is incomplete, and it's fourth down. Looking over at this near sideline. That ball tipped initially, and I think the tight end was closest to it.
Well, the ball was tipped, and it almost looked like the catch was made, but I think it did touch the turf in the end zone.
That was actually, I think, Dalen Coffey who was diving for it in the end zone. They're going to bring the kicking game on. They're going to attempt a field goal here. Jeffrey Neal will set up from the 22-yard line.
This will be good for Jeffrey Neal to get some redemption after the tough kicking outing back in week 2 against these guys.
Jeffrey 2 of 4 on the year, and a flag comes out. Oh, no. And who is that against?
Well, if it's a penalty against Andover, he'll give us a first down.
Jeffrey Neal.
4 yards to go.
And it looks like the offense is coming back out.
On a 32-yard field goal and a flag on the play. Already 5 penalties on Andover Central tonight. Running into the kicker is the call on the Jaguars.
And never has
it is a first down.
Yep, never has Jeffrey Neal been more happy for a field goal that was made to be waved off than right there.
And that is a huge builder for this Crusader offense. Be able to have 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, a shot to score again.
Well, let's hope. You hate to take points off the scoreboard, but let's put 7 on there instead of 3.
Well, he knocked through the 32-yarder.
Ball nosing up to the 10-yard line, first down.
After missing one the last week. But the penalty, 1st and 10 Crusaders. 1st and goal at the 10. Out of the eye. And here's a keeper by Neal on first down across the 5. They'll mark him right down at the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from there.
Yeah, great job on the keep that time. He was riding Tanner Tushton, then pulled it, just followed behind Tushton and left the rest of the Buhler offensive line, and now the Crusaders down to the 5 for 2nd and goal.
Well, you wouldn't suspect Brad Neal to lead the team in rushing so far, but that is the case.
Hey, if they're going to take away one player, you got to give them somebody else.
All right, it'll be 2nd and goal. They stay in the eye, 2 tight ends on 2nd down. Brad rolling out to his left, throws it. It's caught. Touchdown, Crusaders.
Great play call by the Crusaders. They ran play action. He booted out to his left and then just dumped it off in the end zone. And a wide open Crusader receiver there was the fullback, Tanner Tushton.
And I'll tell you what, Tanner Tushton these last couple weeks has came in huge for the Crusader offense, playing that fullback role perfectly.
5-yard touchdown catch. Tanner Tushton's 4th TD catch of the season, his 8th catch overall for 210 yards, but a big one right there with 34 seconds to play in the first. Hold down by Briner. The kick is up and good by Jeffrey. And Buhler's pulled within a touchdown. 34 seconds in this opening period remain. It is Andover Central 14, Buhler 7 on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Buhler. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at nkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Buhler and in Mound Ridge. Member NCUA.
Are you tired of your dusty or muddy driveway? APAC Kansas Shears Division is here to help. This is Derek Fees. Call us and ask us about our asphalt millings. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, arrange for pickup or delivery at your convenience. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Buhler Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
8 plays, 75 yards, 2 huge plays on that series. The first on a third down, a 57-yard pass play on a wheel route to Sam Elliott as Jeff Neal will kick it off. It gets away from the return man at the 20, picked up at the 10. That is Ashton Barkdale, and he'll return it to the 21-yard line. They're going to mark him down right at the 20, but 2 huge plays on that. The pass to Sam Elliott, and Buhler actually conceding on 4th down to go for the field goal, and a 6th penalty by Andover Central, roughing the kicker. Set up Buhler with a 1st and goal, and then the touchdown pass to Tanner Tushchin.
Yeah, so Andover Central is running into the kicker penalty. It directly gave us 4 points. Now the Crusaders with that kind of muffed kickoff return. Let's see if the Crusaders can use it here to our advantage.
Jaguars from their own 22, 1st and 10, right to left here. 3 receivers, 4 receivers set now. With Kuntz out of the gun, Barkdale to his left. Kuntz is going to keep it on the ground, being chased to the outside, gets a good block, and there he goes again at the 50, at the 40, at the 30. It's a foot race at the 20, inside the 10, 5, and another touchdown.
Well, I tell you what, Cameron Campbell made a Herculean effort to try to run him out of bounds, but Kuntz was able to just kind of slip past him. It looked like Campbell was maybe going to try to bump him out of bounds, but then Kuntz bounced back to the inside and was able to keep his feet and showed why he's so dangerous on the ground. Unfortunately, it seems like he just has field days running the football against us.
Kuntz, classic stiff arm, pushing Campbell away.
Buhler is getting beat up front in this game so far. 11 seconds now on the first quarter clock. Andover Central retakes a 2-score lead. And on for the extra point from the 10. The kick is up and good by Isaac Say. 21-7 now. Andover Central leads Buhler here. 11 seconds left in the first on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
The name Johnson Sheet Metal doesn't sound like a heating and air conditioning company, but our family at Johnson Sheet Metal became a Lennox dealer 99 years ago and are still servicing and installing heating and air conditioning systems in Hutchinson and Reno County. Through 4 generations, our specialty has been the Lennox brand, but we can service other brands just as well. We do metals too, but if you have a heating or air conditioning need, call Johnson Sheet Metal today at 620-662-0224.
Hutchinson Community College is enrolling now for spring. Take classes in Hutchinson, McPherson, Newton, or online. They're affordable, convenient, and flexible. Call 888-GO-HUTCH or email admissions@hutchcc.edu today.
HKFM.
1 play, 78 yards, and now 21-7. Andover Central leads as Isaac Say will kick from his 40. Buhler 2 turnovers in the first half. 3 Andover Central touchdowns. And there's a fumble on the return. The ball's loose, and the Jaguars have it. The ball fumbled by Matthew Eddy at the 25. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Matthew Eddy has not made a mistake all season long on those kickoff and punt returns. But that time, ball coming in, it was a high kick. He was waiting for it to arrive. And right as it came through, an Andover Central player just timed it perfectly, just walloped him. But the ball's out loose. Andover Central recovered it. Now they have fantastic field position after that turnover.
And Eddie just got absolutely leveled. You could hear that on with our headsets.
7 seconds left in the quarter. The Jaguars from the Buhler 31-yard line. A third Buhler turnover in 4 series on offense. And here is Bartel with a right side run. Ball is loose at the end of the play. They'll call the runner down at the 23-yard line. Buhler continuing to get gashed in the ground game. We told you how strong they had gotten against the run, holding their last 6 opponents to an average of 93 yards, but Andover Central has racked up well over that here in the first half alone. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. 21-7, the Jags lead the Crusaders here in the sub-state round of the 4A playoffs on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
As we head into the holidays, Allen Samuels and Hutch would like to take a moment to say thanks. Thank you for your support with our Allen Samuels Cares program and helping our local businesses continue to thrive. Thank you for joining us for our drive-in movie nights. You helped make them a lot of fun. Thank you to our first responders in helping to keep our community safe. Most of all, thank you to all our friends, family, and local businesses for making Hutchinson a great place to be. And as Mr. Samuels always says,
come by, let's be friends.
At Adams Brown, our clients are the center of everything we do. Hi, this is Brett Henry. We're proud to have been named to the Inside Public Accountants Top 200 Firms for our 5th consecutive year. Adams Brown, Strategic Allies and CPAs. Above and beyond.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Buhler Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
And our Buhler Dental Care scoreboard, second quarter now. Andale leading southeast of Saline 14-0. Sedgwick 7, Inman 6 in the second quarter. Derby leading Lawrence High 21-14.
Got a score out of Little River too. Canton Galva leading Little River 16-12. That midway through the second.
Second down and 2. Kuntz will hand it off. Bartel's got the first down at the 20.
Nice tackle
to the 19.
It was a nice tackle made in space that time for the Crusaders by Tanner Tushin. He's a little bit rattled on the play, however. Did have an 8-man score. They started the game earlier at the half out west. Coach Zion's alma mater, the Meade Buffaloes, leading Hill City 20-6 at the half. That on the Ad Astra Radio app.
First and 10. Beloit leading Kingman early 8-0. Kai Kuntz out of the gun. Hands it off Bartel on an inside run. And forward progress down to the 17-yard line. This Jags offense on the year averaging 65% of the time a running play to just 35 a pass.
And the thing I've really been impressed with, guys, just that offensive and defensive line for Andover Central. They have really been owning the line of scrimmage so far tonight.
Buhler coming into this game as the 1 seed of the West, Andover Central the 3rd seed. Well, you look on the other side, St. James the 8, Bishop Miege the 10. It'll be second down after a gain of 3 and 7. Kuntz out of the gun, trips in a bunch formation to the left side. The whistle at the snap. The play is blown dead.
Timeout, Jaguars.
Andover Central will call a timeout here with 10:50 to go in the second. Crusader football brought to you in part by Ray and Sons Roofing, by Cargill Salt, by the Sheila Metzger Agency, the Medicine Shop, and by Midwest Iron and Metal. Hope all of you have a good weekend. Busy weekend in Hutchinson tomorrow if you're going to be in the area for the annual Downtown Christmas Parade tomorrow morning at 10. Tomorrow afternoon is the annual Christmas tree event at Interfaith Housing. And then tomorrow night is the big gala at Tech. And, of course, a ton of college football this weekend. The HCC Blue Dragons will be playing in the Jayhawk Conference Championship game Sunday afternoon in Wichita. KU K-State both in action this weekend as well. Chiefs and the Cowboys on Sunday. That'll be a big one in Arrowhead. Second down and 7 here with the Jags up 21-7. Threatening again. 10:50 to go in the second. Kuntz will keep it on a draw up the middle and caught from behind this time. One of the better defensive plays of the night as Buhler stops him short at the 16-yard line, a gain of 1.
Yeah, Gavin Patton with the tackle there for the Crusaders. They faked it where he was going to roll to his left and then cut back to his right. So great job by Patton staying home and able to drop him for maybe a slight loss.
They actually moved the back a yard to the 18.
Third down from the 18.
This would be a huge stop for the Crusaders.
Isaac Say, 4 of 9 this year on field goal attempts. They need the 10 for a first down. Kuntz out of the gun. Bunch formation to the left side. Empty backfield. Pass is caught. First down at the 10. It is Barkdale again. Down to the 5 where it'll be first and goal. Well, if it's not Kai Kuntz, Ashton Barkdale has really done damage a number of times in the half against this defense as well.
Yeah, just a little slip screen over in the far flat where they had receivers out there blocking for him, and nice easy pass made that time by Kuntz out there to Barkdale, and he was able to slither his way forward and give him a first and goal.
Jaguars trying to go up 3 scores here on a first and goal at the 5, leading 21-7, 9:40 to play in this opening half. Kai Kuntz, the transfer from Capon. Out of the gun, Barkdale goes with the handoff, and he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Solid play defensively that time by the Crusaders up the middle.
Gavin Patton again, and that time almost kind of a cut block for the tackle. He just went in and cut out the legs of Barkdale, so brings up a 2nd and 5 from the goal, or from 2nd and goal from the 5. Sorry.
It's the 9th home game of the season for the Crusaders. They're 12th overall. They have not been on the road since October the 15th. 2nd and goal at the 5. Barkdale to the right of Kuntz in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right side. Kuntz will hand it off to Barkdale across the formation. Flag at the end of the play. And a gain of 1 to the 4-yard line. For the moment, we'll see what the call is.
Nice job by Dalen Coffey there on the stop. He met him for nearly no gain, maybe a slight gain of a yard or less, but let's see what this penalty ends up being.
8 penalties have been called in the game, 6 on the Jaguars, 2 on the Crusaders.
The officials seem to be signaling like it's going to be against Andover Central. We haven't had the official call yet, though.
And Andover Central is slowly backing up that way, too. They're all the way now back at the 15-yard line. Their offense is. Clock stopped with 8:41 to go in the quarter. We'll get the call here from the White Hat. It is going to be against the Jaguars.
It's a big one.
Personal foul, face mask on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay.
15-yard face mask penalty. That'll be Andover Central's 7th. They're already halfway to the 14 they had in the first meeting.
Well, hopefully the Crusaders can capitalize on this penalty, moving it back almost outside the red zone completely.
Back to the 19-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal from there. 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Kuntz out of the gun. Now they'll put Cooper Tabor in the slot in motion. Scrambling, stepping up, and throwing to a wide open receiver in the end zone. And there's another flag as Deontay Campbell shoved the receiver. That is the tight end Stupka out of bounds at the end of the play.
Just not a very smart penalty there for Deontay Campbell.
Oh.
As after a guy scored, it doesn't do you any good to hit him.
I would
That was pretty stupid.
assume that'll be assessed on the kickoff.
Yes. And there was multiple flags, so we might be having more penalties than just one here.
Well, Stupka wide open in the end zone. He had a couple of huge catches in the first meeting between these two. An obvious touchdown and just no reason to shove him out of bounds there.
After the play, personal foul on the defense. A 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. We have a touchdown.
So 8:17 to play here in the half. Brock Stupka on a 19-yard touchdown pass from Kai Kuntz. That is the first pass for a touchdown tonight. Jags have 3 runs. And the ball kicked through. Good by Isaac Say. So with 8:17 to go in the half, it is Andover Central 28 and Buhler 7. Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Hi, this is Jade with IdeaTech. We love bringing internet freedom to the residents and businesses of Buhler, Kansas. IdeaTech is a proud supporter and the preferred internet provider of the Buhler Crusaders. As the Crusaders know, speed wins. We back up our lightning-fast internet with a customer-first philosophy. That means you'll talk to a live person from our offices in Buhler when you call in. If you're not already a customer, go to ideatech.com and click on Check Availability, or call 620-543-5000 to inquire about our services.
As your American Family Insurance agent in Hutchinson, I'm looking out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Sheila Metzger, agent at the Sheila Metzger Agency. Call me at 665-0400 and let's talk about your insurance needs today.
American Family Insurance.
HKFM.
And back here, a very quiet Buhler sideline. Buhler fans a little bit in dismay right now, 28-7. 3 Crusader turnovers in this first half. Andover Central has scored on every drive but one. They'll kick this with a penalty from the Buhler 45. It'll easily go out of the end zone, and the Crusaders will start from their own 20. Well, I think I said it earlier when they were down 2 scores. You can only get them back one at a time, and we just got to start with your fundamentals, the things that have got you here to get back to playing some Buhler football.
Yeah, big thing for Buhler's turnovers. You know, we can't turn the ball over, and the one nice thing is there's still lots of time left in this game. But, I mean, we'd have to really look up some serious numbers to find out the last time we were down 3 scores, fellas. It's been a minute. I know it hasn't been this year, so.
1st and 10 from the 20, out of the I formation. Single receivers either side. Brad rolling to his left to throw, and that is doinked off a Jaguar and out of bounds, intended for Matt Eddy on the near side. The pass was high.
That could have easily been picked. Went right through the hands of the Andover Central defender.
Incompletion, 2nd down.
Brock Stupka, who just had the touchdown reception, the tight end, now defensively almost had a pick. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with the incompletion.
Like you said, Aaron, you can't come back in a game on one play. You got to do it one down after one down after one down.
Bradley Neal out of the gun. Play action, rolling to his right. Pass complete. That is to Brock McCurdy on the first side. It is enough for a first down. It'll go for a pass to the 31, so 11 yards, and move the sticks on 2nd down.
It's good to see the completion. It kind of gets some momentum going here. Still lots of time. I mean, Buhler still has the opportunity. If they can put together a scoring drive, they'll probably get another possession this quarter alone.
And other than that play, this Crusader team has been in all sorts of dismay right now.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 31. Crusaders right to left here, down 28-7. Here's Sam Elliott. Inside handoff, has some room across the 35, gets wrestled to the turf at the 37-yard line. Well, I heard Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talk about something a lot this week. You know, he talked about only getting 1 score back at a time. You've got to take what the defense will give you, and that means, you know, if they're taking one thing away, that means something else is available.
Yeah, just seeing that run by Sam there, guys, I mean, he's not too far away from breaking a big one.
Yeah, Sam came up limping a little bit.
They'll go spread on 2nd down here with 3 wide receivers, 2 to the near side. They throw it out of the backfield. Spin move at the 40, 45, and Sam Elliott down to the 48-yard line. There's the little swing pass to Elliott out of the backfield to the near side, and it moves the sticks.
That was one of the things you were talking about in the pregame, Dad, the fact that if they're going to take away the inside run of Sam Elliott, try to get the ball out in space on the edge, the Crusaders, that's his 2nd big reception of the night.
1st and 10, nearing midfield, nearing the 7-minute mark of the first half. And a 28-7 deficit for the Crusaders. Out of the I formation, Brad hands off to Sam. Starts right, cuts back left to the middle of the field at the 50. And he'll pick up 2 yards on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Every one of Sam's yards tonight have been hard earned.
Yeah, that time, I mean, he was cutting back, but big Isaac Sheeran, the guy we talked about that's a preferred walk-on at K-State, tracked him down from behind and popped him for a good one there after he picked up a couple yards.
Second down and 8, clock running. Two wings stacked to the left side this time and two tight ends. And play action. Brad rolling to his right. Lets it go. Hits Matt Eddy. Is that Eddy?
Tushton.
And Tushton at the 25-20, 15-10, 5, no flags, touchdown!
Great thrown ball. Tushton was able to get wide open. It was a long drag route. And just like that, the Crusaders are back within 2 scores. And great play call that time. Tushton wide open.
And it's great to see some life back on this Crusader side.
A second TD caught tonight by Big Sky, Tanner Tushton.
Well, you almost think the Andover Central kids thought once they went up 3 scores, they maybe had this thing in the bag.
Well, Brad set a career high the first time these two teams played with passing yards. 2 huge pass plays tonight. That one goes for 50. And 6:09 left now in the half. 28-14 on HKFM of the Crusaders Sports Network.
Things up at Next Tech Wireless with a great gift. Black Friday and beyond, you'll get a new device on us up to $9.99. That includes the new iPhone 13 Pro and Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. Bring your number to us and get a $100 Visa gift card today. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is ready to get you set up and will even put a bow on it. Come visit, call, or text us at 877-621-2600. We are Kansas.
At H&R Block, we're here all year at tax time or anytime to help get answers for your tax questions. Stop by H&R Block in Hutch at 2nd and Washington, on the Square in Lyons, or in downtown Ellsworth today. Get your taxes won at H&R Block.
HKFM.
5 plays, 80 yards. And a 50-yard touchdown pass from Brad Neal to Tanner Tushton. Second TD catch tonight by Tushton. Well, your offense has got you back in the game. Now, defense has got to step up here as that ball goes out of bounds, squibbed by Jeff. And out of bounds near the 28. What does the defense have to do adjustment-wise now to stop this Andover Central offense?
I'm going to get greedy here. I hope we can turn these guys over. I mean, it's one of those things that really the big difference has been the fact that Andover Central has turned us over so many times. But, the Crusaders just have got to continue to play smart up front, try to get off those blocks, and the D-line make tackles so we're not getting into the second level.
One thing, we dominated the second half over at Andover Central in the first matchup.
Right, we had to play comeback, and we did.
Jags from their own 35 after that ball kicked out of bounds.
Got to stop them on this possession.
Jeff Neal. 2 receivers left, 1 right. And a receiver in the near side moved.
They had 2 guys moving at the same time, which should be an illegal shift.
Stupka was in motion on this near side.
And Isaac Sheeran both moved at the same time. Wow.
Now they're going to give Andover Central a timeout.
Well, I don't want to be like a Texas Tech play-by-play guy here, but officials missed that one, guys.
Hey, they got suspended this week. They don't get to call the game tomorrow.
I know.
But even if you don't know football, you got to know. There has to be some sort of illegal.
You can't have 2 guys moving at the same time.
Crusader football brought to you tonight in part by Johnson Sheet Metal, by the Prairie Bank of Kansas, by Wade Pat Insurance, by Idea Tech, and by Wifco Stove Products. Well, we'd prefer it to be football season for another week, but we will talk to our basketball head coaches coming up at halftime tonight. Coach Swanson, Coach Mitchell-Stetter will join us as practice for the basketball teams, also for swimming and wrestling. I started this week. I talked to Sam. He is not at all sad he's missing the first week of wrestling practice.
Yeah, all these football guys want to extend their season to Topeka next Saturday.
1st and 10, 35. Coots out of the gun, being pressured, scrambling to his left, unloads, and it is incomplete, tipped at the last minute at the Buhler 30-yard line, intended for Cooper Tabor.
Nice coverage downfield for the Crusaders, still trying to get a number on that truck to see who it was in coverage. I believe it was Cameron Campbell that batted it away to bring up a 2nd and 10 for Andover Central.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We have a big football game next Friday, but it's K-State versus Texas. We're hoping to have big football games next Saturday, state championship games.
And Cameron Campbell and Cody Weiscarver were in on the coverage that time. 2nd down and 10 at the 35 with the incompletion. Kuntz fakes the toss and then hands it off to Barkdale, following his blockers. Boy, that is where Buhler's just got gashed all night, is on the inside run. Barkdale across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Picks
that
up
was the old Statue of Liberty play.
Picks up 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, so now Andover Central with much more manageable down and distance here. And I wouldn't be surprised, even though Andover Central has a 2-score lead, that this might be 4-down territory here on this possession for the Jaguars.
I don't think so at the 40.
5:30 to play, 3rd down and 4. Jags up 28-14. Out of the gun, Kuntz. Barkdale to his right, 4 wide receivers. Pump fakes, now scrambles near side. Being chased, unloads one-on-one with the safety in coverage. And it is caught inside the 15 by Stupka. Another big catch with the safety, Weiscarver. Boy, mismatch there with the bigger-bodied Stupka down the near sideline.
And it was a long extended route. Weiscarver just kind of got lost down there as he got his hips turned the wrong way, and Stupka was able to go up and catch the pass. Tough break for the Crusaders as the D-line was really bearing down on Kuntz as he unloaded it.
And the main rule for a defensive back and safety, you never let someone behind you.
Well, that's a nice rule, except for when it happens. 46 yards. On 1st and 10, flag comes out as they hand it off to Barkdale. Inside the 10-yard line, down to the 9. We'll see what the call is in the backfield.
It was a nice fill that time by one of the linebackers from Buhler, and I think, unfortunately, just reading body language, it might be on the Crusaders. Dalen Coffey had a little contact with Kuntz, and Kuntz was doing some serious kind of lobbying for a penalty.
Personal foul. Defense. After Mississippi roll.
It will be a personal foul penalty, half the distance to the goal on the Crusaders.
So Coffey will check out, so they're going to hit him with that roughing the passer.
Inside the 5-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and goal at the 4. Jags leading 28-14. Oh, it has not been a good first half for this Buhler Black Knight defense after shutting out Mulvane last week. Kuntz out of the gun. It'll be Barkdale to a far side run. Flag out. Barkdale's in the end zone, but we'll see what the call is. The flag came in from the opposite side of the field as where Barkdale was.
And the white hat waved it off, so I believe it's going to be on Andover Central. And from where it was at over there might be a cut blocker. We'll just have to see.
The flag came in from the back side of the play as Barkdale ran left to the pylon, and they're going to wave off the touchdown.
Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat 1st down.
So the hold to move it back near the 15-yard line, so the Crusaders get another chance here to try to keep Andover Central at bay.
15-yard line. 4:55 to play here in the half. 1st down, Jags.
So a good break for the Crusaders there as Andover Central continues to stockpile the penalties this evening.
1st and goal at the 12. At the 15. Kuntz out of the gun, trips right. And he'll flip it on a reverse to Cooper Tabor, and boy, Buhler's defense snuffed that out right away. They fake to Barkdale, and then the motion receiver Tabor gets the flip in the backfield and brought down back at the 16.
Great job that time. I believe it was Matthew Eddy on the backside, staying at home as the outside linebacker over there, and drops him for a short loss. So nice job by the Buhler D. See if they can continue to hold firm here.
With the plays they've been calling, I wouldn't be surprised if they did some type of Philly special right here.
2nd and goal from the 16. Trips right again. Well, you've got to know where Stupka is. He is in the middle of the 3-receiver set on this right side. And Kuntz fakes it, hands it off Barkdale.
22, Barkdale.
Gets across the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and goal from there.
Coming up defensively, number 20, Sam Elliott.
Yeah, and so big down here, because if Buhler can hold him, they could try to force the field goal try.
Boy, Bartol's looked good here in this first half.
He has. He does such a good job once he gets that handoff and just going right up the field.
Yeah, he really doesn't mess with side to side too much. Third and goal at the 8-yard line after a gain of 8. 3 receivers again to the right side. Now they put a receiver in motion. Kuntz fakes the handoff, keeps it up the middle inside the 5, pushing. He'll be backed up near the 2-yard line. It'll be 4th and goal for the Jaguars at the 2. And
actually, it's going to be a first down, because for some reason I thought it was goal to go earlier, but then they brought out the sticks.
1 yard line, first and goal.
A couple of downs ago, they brought the sticks back, but
it was 1st and goal, and I thought it would stay that way with the penalty. It did not. Now 1st and goal at the 2. Okay, well, they've got a new set of downs. Kuntz under center with a quarterback sneak.
They got it.
And into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, if you're the Crusaders, 2:40 left to go here in the second quarter. All is not lost. Going to have to just put together a scoring drive here and try to get it back to a 2-score lead.
The Jags offense has scored every time it's touched the football, -1. They had a punt back in the first quarter. That has been it. Cooper Tabor will be the holder for Say, the kicker, at the 10. And the extra point is up and good. 2:40 left in the half. Andover Central 35, Buhler 14 here on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
If you need a piece of metal or an angle for a small project or a complete fabrication project done, call us at Johnson Sheet Metal or stop by 512 South Main in Hutchinson. We know metal. This is Sarah Johnson, and my family has been in business for 99 years. With a huge stock of different sheets, shapes of steel, stainless, galvanized, and aluminum, Johnson Sheet Metal has what you need. We cut to size, bend, roll, punch, or weld to your specifications, and can make your ag replacement panels too. Johnson Sheet Metal.
As your American Family Insurance agent in Hutchinson, I'm looking out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Sheila Metzger, agent at the Sheila Metzger Agency. Call me at 665-0400 and let's talk about your insurance needs today.
American Family Insurance.
HKFM.
35-14 with 2:40 left before halftime. Isaac Say will kick from the 40. And he lets it go. And Buhler will let it go out of the back of the end zone. 35 points. The most Buhler's defense has given up this year, let alone in a half. The previous high was 30 on October the 8th here against McPherson. Andover Central had just 21 points in the first meeting between these two on September the 10th. Buhler will have it at their own 20, 80 yards to go with 2:40 left here in the first half. They have 2 touchdowns, both passes from Bradley Neal to Tanner Tushton, one for 5 yards, one for 50. Out of the I formation, 2 receivers and play action. Brad wants to throw, scrambling to his left, receiver, and contact. They're going to call a foul. Flag thrown near the 35. The pass intended for Matt Eddy.
So clock stops on the incompletion here. The Crusaders having to go into the teeth of that wind. And just from up here, it looks like it's still pretty steady out there.
Pass interference.
It is a pass interference call against the Jaguars. Moves the ball up to the 35.
It looked like a great defensive play, but he got there just a split second early.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Crusaders going right to left toward the south end zone here at Crusaders Stadium. Playing inside the hashes. They'll come to the line with 14 on the play clock. Twin receivers left side. They'll put Cameron Campbell in motion in the jet sweep. He'll get the handoff following Sam Elliott to the right side across the 40. And marked right down at the 40-yard line and a gain of 5.
Well, the one nice thing for the Crusaders having all 3 timeouts remaining, pretty much all options are on the table offensively here. They've got plenty of time to try to put together this drive.
2nd down and 5, clock running, 2:09 left here in the half. Buhler out of the huddle quickly. Eddie, the lone receiver, to the near side. McCurdy to the far, out of the I formation. Brad takes the snap and fakes the handoff again. Bradley wants to throw over the middle of the field. Brock McCurdy almost made a dazzling catch over the helmet of Cooper Tabor, but as both players came crashing to the turf, Brock able to get a good grip on it, incomplete.
Yeah, the ball hung up in the air just a little bit with the wind, and so Tabor was able to go up and make a great defensive play. Otherwise, McCurdy had been able to pick up the first down and more there.
Other than that one pick, Bradley has been putting up some beautiful balls, even in the wind. But the wind can be a factor here right now.
Buhler trailing by 21 here has completely abandoned Sam Elliott's run game. 3rd and 5. Trips left with Brad out of the gun on 3rd down. Wants to throw. Jags bring the pressure. Screen pass to Elliott. First down now at midfield. 40, 35, 30. Near sideline to the 15. And he'll be wrestled out of bounds near the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal. Let's see where they mark him out.
Great job by Sam Elliott on the screen pass. The Crusaders sold it perfectly. Andover Central brought the house, bringing pressure. And a great pass play made that time. Great touch by Bradley Neal, as one of their big old defensive linemen was right in between him and Sam Elliott. He lobbed it just over the top of him. Sam was able to catch it and do something with it after the catch, and the Crusaders are right back in this.
Sam made a one-handed catch.
Well, he had a pass reception for 57 yards earlier. That one for 54. 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Brad to pass again, hard over the middle, looking for his tight end, Bo Van Bruggen. He had a defensive back draped all over him. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Incomplete. Boy, when was the last time Sam Elliott had more receiving yards in a game than rushing yards?
Well, Coach Warner's showing some creativity. If they're going to load the box and try to stop him on the ground, they got to do it by the air. And on that little tight end dump that time, Mason White, the safety, made a nice play there on Bo Van Bruggen.
Sam deserves a touchdown right here.
2nd and goal, trips right. Eddie, the single receiver, to the near side. Elliott to the right of Neal as he'll take the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it up in the back of the end zone. It's caught but out of bounds.
Yeah, tough break as Brock McCurdy made the catch, but wasn't able to get feet in bounds. So it'll bring us now a 3rd and goal for the Crusaders.
3rd and goal, Buhler.
It'll be 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line with 1:23 to go here in the half. Trips right again. Brad out of the gun with Sam Elliott to his right. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws over the middle, and incomplete on a crossing route. It'll be 4th down. That intended for Brock McCurdy. Boy, down 21 here. Don't you have to go for it?
Yeah, and that's what Coach Warner's doing. He's talking with Dalen Coffey to send in the play right now. Massive down here for the Crusaders, as you'd love to go to the locker room being just down 2 scores.
So Dalen Coffey in, Brock McCurdy out. On 4th down and goal from the 7-yard line. Trips right, single receiver near side. Brad Neal out of the shotgun. Rolling to his right now, steps up, throws back over the middle, and that has got to be a penalty. How is that not a penalty on Cooper Tabor, on the receiver who had his hands, and now flags come out at the end, probably on, we'll see who. That was Dalen Coffey, who looked like he had the hands in the face mask from Cooper Tabor.
They pulled him down from behind before the ball got there.
That has to be pass interference.
And, well, there's going to be a penalty called on Andover Central. I could see the official staring down one of the Jaguars, so one of them ran their mouth there.
This is not good right now. Everything is just going down in the dumps. This is a bad call.
So it'll be an automatic penalty on the Jags, half the distance.
Because it's after, unfortunately,
but it's after the play, so Andover Central gets the ball.
After the play was over.
So Andover Central continues to pile up the penalties. Now the Crusader Black Knight defense has got to gin up a turnover or make something happen here.
Unfortunately, when you're down 21 points, the penalties don't matter at this point. You just need touchdowns, not penalties. Jaguars will have it at their own 4 here late in the second quarter with 1:14 to play. Kai Kuntz will take the shotgun snap out of his own end zone, hands it off to Bartel, swallowed up at the 1-yard line. They'll mark him knee down at the 2.
Good job by Bo Van Bruggen and Sam Elliott teaming up there to knock him back for a loss, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 12. Great job by the Black Knight defense here. Clock continues to roll here. Buhler still with all 3 timeouts remaining.
Our friend the Photo Cowboy roaming the sidelines downstairs tonight. Get great shots of tonight's game online at photocowboy.com. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. This likely the final play of the half. They snap it again from their own end zone. Kuntz forward to the 7-yard line. And just 18 seconds left on the clock here in the first half.
And Coach Warner electing to not burn the timeouts here.
So a very difficult first half of football for the Black Knight defense in particular, giving up 35 first half points. Andover Central scoring on every drive but 2 in that half. Buhler managing 2 touchdown passes to Tanner Tushchin, but also had 3 first half turnovers. A fumble by Sam Elliott and a pick by Brad Neal.
Tough first half. Yeah, what a fun first half. 3 turnovers and not able to stop them defensively and not be able to finish our drive here. I mean, it was not a fun half.
Well, the first game you outplayed them in the second half. Hopefully it'll happen again.
That's what we're going to have to do.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Another turnover, a fumble on a kick return by Matt Eddy. We are at halftime here at Crusader Stadium tonight, part of our HCC Road to a Championship. 5 other games across the AdAstra Sports Network. Check them out online at adastraradio.com. And the AdAstra Radio app will have scores coming up in our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report. We'll talk to head boys basketball coach Ryan Swanson when we come back here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Stay tuned for tonight's Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report. Prairie Bank of Kansas, serving Central Kansas since 1886. Coming up, an in-depth look at Crusader athletics and activities with This Week in Crusader Sports.
Prairie Bank of Kansas is a local bank with local concerns. You'll find us in the heart of the community, helping wherever we're needed. We enjoy working with local schools to help promote activities like sports and extracurricular learning. We hope you support these valuable activities too. We'll be right here with you. Visit one of our locations in Stafford, Buhler, Inman, or Hutchinson, or check us out online at prairiebankks.com. Prairie Bank of Kansas. How banking should be.
Hi, Steve here from Red Rock Auto Center in South Hutchinson. Try the full-service lanes at Red Rock Auto Center. We're one of the few remaining full-service stations in our area. Barbecuing this weekend? Have us fill your propane tank or even your RV. Red Rock Auto Center at 200 North Main in South Hutchinson. We're here when you need us.
Did you know that it's estimated that the salt deposits under Kansas could supply the entire world's salt needs for the next 250,000 years? Cargill Salt of Hutch is proud to support the schools of Reno County. Collaborate, create, succeed. Cargill Salt of Hutchinson.
Shopping local makes a difference in our community. Please support small local businesses this holiday season and throughout the year. Not only are you supporting our community, you're often receiving better quality and more personalized service. We invite you to shop with us at Jackson Meat, 13 West 6th Avenue, downtown Hutchinson.
Well, back here on our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report as we look ahead to the basketball season coming up first Friday in December. We're joined by head boys coach Ryan Swanson. Coach, thanks for some time. You and I were talking 5 seniors you graduated last year, 3 of those starters. So How important, especially early in the year, the play that you'll get out of Isaiah Hernandez and Jack Voth?
Well, obviously there are two guys back that have far and away the most experience. You got a couple guys that played a little bit spots here and there, but Jack was a first team all league guy as a sophomore, and Isaiah was all league as a junior. And Isaiah coming back, he's really been great in practice, shown a lot of leadership. But it is tough when you only have one senior. Hopefully we'll surprise some people. I mean, I know everyone looks and we did lose a lot, but hopefully with those guys coming back and some of the younger guys can step up, we'll be pretty competitive, I think.
Talk about some of what you lose, a lot of energy and floor leadership and what Reed and Taden brought to your team last year. Always a process from year to year to see who that next group of guys is going to be that step up and kind of fill that role.
Yeah, Max was the guy that we went to score. I mean, he was a special basketball player. Reed and Taden were special leaders. And so that's what I'm more concerned with, honestly. And is the Jack will do a good job, I'm sure, of trying, but that'll be a new role for him. And getting guys to being a leader is one thing, and getting guys to follow, that's what it's all about. And and Isaiah, Isaiah's just a quiet guy, but I've been proud of him. He's been a little more vocal this year, and he always goes hard. And so he's a guy who leads more by example. Jack's probably a little more vocal, and so we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's always fun to see how it works itself out every year. So that's always an adjustment, but I know those two guys are excited. They've worked hard, and I anticipate them stepping up.
Yeah, I think you mentioned some of the role players from last year, but always, outside of those guys, what you're going to get from. Always interesting to see who that next group of kids is that will take that next step and really fill some key minutes and score some key buckets for you.
Yeah, it is. It's part of the fun, it works itself out. And we're going to be able to put 10 guys out there at any given time who will all play minutes, and that's more fun.
Talk about it every year. We know our league's tough, and certainly going to be tested early in the year. You've got pre-Christmas road trips to Salina South and McPherson, so you'll get a good gauge.
The people you mentioned, Hutch is going to be much improved, and Brian Miller is a heck of a coach. So that's going to be, and they've already, they're going to have at least one, hopefully 2 extra weeks of practice with their football guys there than we will. So that'll be a tough one early. Same with Salina South. South's replacing a lot, but still that'll be there. That's a big 5A school. Hutch is 6A. We'll definitely see where we're at.
Well, thanks for your time, Coach. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Aaron.
It's Coach Ryan Swanson with us here at halftime. We'll be back with more after this.
Find Prairie Bank of Kansas online at prairiebankks.com. The Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report continues with tonight's This Week in Crusader Sports. Follow our Crusader football coverage on the sports page at adastroradio.com.
Hutchinson Community College is enrolling now for spring. Take classes in Hutchinson, McPherson, Newton, or online. They're affordable, convenient, and flexible. Call 888-GO-HUTCH or email admissions@hutchcc.edu today.
I have children that are younger in grade school, and then I have high school children who go to see Dr. Ediger. I was super impressed with how he made my daughter feel so comfortable. Dr. Ediger is great with all ages. He does an awesome job.
Hi, this is Dr. Corey Ediger, inviting you and your family to call me at 663-9136. That's 663-9136. Or stop by my office on East 30th to make an appointment today at Ediger Family Dental.
Their patients come first.
1947. It was the year the Mackenzie Paint and Body Shop opened for business. That's over 70 years they've been serving the Mid-Kansas area with quality workmanship, excellent refinishing, paint, and restoration. Mackenzie Paint and Body Shop specializes in foreign and domestic vehicles. Insurance claims are welcome, and 24-hour towing and recovery service is available. At Mackenzie Paint and Body Shop, they take the dents out of accidents. Just over the bridge at 45 Kansas Avenue in South Hutchinson.
And we're back here on our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report as we continue to look ahead to Buhler basketball coming up. Season opens at home against Nickerson the first Friday in December. And second-year head coach Sierra Mitchellstetter, coach of our girls team, joins us. Coach, thanks for your time and You and I were just talking. You graduate 4 seniors last year, and you have 2 seniors back, but a lot of underclassmen on your club.
Oh, yes. We will be a young team as we enter this 2021-2022 season, but we have some good key upperclassmen that will be leaders for us this year.
Obviously, an opportunity for a lot of those kids to grab some big minutes right away. You do have a few kids that played key roles for you back last year, so interesting to see how that all mixes together.
Oh, yes. We have Abby Utzi, Marin Lackey, Taryn Horning all played good minutes for us last year, so they'll have to kind of step up the game, and then we'll have to really replace the huge inside presence. So we have some young kids that'll have to step up, even Abby here and there to step up in our inside game.
I was going to ask you about that. You lost a lot of height in your seniors that graduated, so looking for some kids to fill those minutes down low, and well, that's a tough position to grow up in. You'll have to do that pretty quickly. So.
Oh, yes. We'll definitely be a little undersized this year compared to last year, but our kids are first 2 days of practice. They've been working hard, and I just think this entire week they're going to strive to be tough and work hard and listen to be coachable and everything. So we're able to hopefully make up for our lack of height in our defense this year.
Well, it's been talked about this freshman class and the success that they had in middle school coming in. What have you seen from them so far? What do you expect from them?
I've seen actually a lot of good things from them. They have came in and brought a new intensity to the team. They're kind of striving to be part of the varsity team, so it brings a culture of being intense with everything that we do, which brings intensity to the other players because they're trying to get that position for the varsity team as well.
Do you feel a little more settled in here year 1 to year 2 than maybe you did last year?
Yes and no. Last year I felt like I never really got a grasp of it because of COVID. Because at one point we didn't have fans, then we didn't have a band. We had to reschedule. So I think last year I learned a lot. I've reflected a lot, and I think I've grown up a lot.
Absolutely. And, of course, early in the season, you'll have some tough tests early. You've got to go to Salina South, got to go to McPherson. What are you looking for as far as pre-Christmas and improvements for your team?
I think every time we step on the court, I think our theme for this year is to be tough. So stepping on and competing, we do have some competition with Nickerson and Hutchinson. Our before Christmas schedule is pretty tough, but I think if the girls step up and they show up and compete every single time, we're going to improve and make those games hard for them.
All right, Coach. Well, we look forward to it and look forward to those young kids developing, and it'll be a fun process to watch. We appreciate your time. Best of luck when we get started here in a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time, and go Crusaders.
Absolutely. That is Coach Sierra Mitchell-Stetter. We'll be back with more of our halftime stats, and more coming up after this on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You're listening to the Prairie Bank of Kansas Halftime Report. Coming up, we'll bring you analysis and break down the numbers from tonight's game. Stream HKFM right to your phone with the Ad Astra radio app. Your home for Crusader football. HKFM.
Rise and shine. It's daylight time and time to go to your happy place. November is a good time to remember all the things we are thankful for, and we are thankful for you and your support. You can show the people you are thankful for a little kindness by giving them some fresh, made-from-scratch Daylight Donuts from your 30th Street Daylight Donuts. We're open every morning at 5 a.m. Order online and have them ready to pick up, or come in and see us any day. Your Hutchinson 30th Street Daylight Donuts at 1435 East 30th.
For sand, gravel, concrete, and decorative rock, call the professionals at Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Locally owned and family operated, John, Chris, Laura, and Lyle Paulson are always happy to help you with your sand, gravel, and concrete needs. And be sure to check out their large selection of landscape holders. That's Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Call 422-3249.
Serving all of Central Kansas, Gravel and Concrete Incorporated, 7010 North Nickerson Road. Call 422-3249.
At Dick's Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick, inviting you to stop by our locally owned station at 1215 East 4th in Hutch. Dick's offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly service. Wherever you're headed, every journey begins with a stop at Dick's Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutch.
HKFM.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back here at halftime. Our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report as we look at our first half numbers. Brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs, proudly serving businesses in Kansas for the past 70 years. Online at adamsbrown.cpa.com. Just the 2 touchdowns in the first half for the Crusaders. Buhler was trailing 14-0. 2 turnovers before they got the ball in the end zone on a 5-yard Tanner touchdown catch with 34 seconds to go in the first. It was 14-7, 8 plays, 75 yards. On that series, Buhler was sent up for a 32-yard field goal. Good by Jeff Neal, but a roughing the kicker call extended the series. Buhler able to get the touchdown. Buehler's other score after a third turnover came with 6:09 to go in the half on a 50-yard touchdown pass from Brad to Tanner. That made it 28-14. Andover Central 7 drives in the first half and 5 touchdowns. And let's dive, Christopher, a little deeper into the first half numbers.
In the first half, Andover Central outgaining Buhler in total offense, 300 yards compared to Buehler's 235 yards. Dead even on the number of plays. Both squads have run off 29 plays in the first half. We'll take a look at some of the individual totals for the Andover Central Jaguars. Kai Kuntz, 7 passes in the first, or excuse me, that's the rushing, sorry, through the air, Kai Kuntz, 4 of 7 for 92 yards and a touchdown. Bradley Neal, 8 of 17 for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. Individual rushing statistics, Kai Kuntz, 7 attempts for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Ashton Berkdahl, 13 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown, and Cooper Tabor with 2 carries for 3 yards. For Buhler, Sam Elliott has been really stymied tonight. 7 carries for 20 yards in the first half. Bradley Neal, 3 carries for 16. Cameron Campbell, 1 carry for 5. And Tanner Tustin, 1 carry for 1. Receiving-wise, Brock Stupka, leading receiver for Andover Central, 3 catches for 79 yards and a TD. Berkdahl has 1 catch himself. Sam Elliott, leading receiver of the game, 3 catches tonight for 122 yards. Tanner Tustin, 2 catches for 55 and 2 touchdowns. Brock McCurdy, 2 catches for 16 yards. And Matthew Eddy with 1 catch that went for no yards. One of the big statistics here in the first half, 10 penalty yards on Andover Central for 125 yards. Buhler with just 4 penalties and 60 yards.
All right, and I know Sam Elliott would give all the yards back to reverse the score in this game, but he is now the the career rushing leader all time in Crusader history. He passes Tanner Fisher now at 5,078. And boy, what a real treat for the last 3 years it's been to watch him run the football. Let's run it a few more times and rack up some yards in the second half. We'll mark down some other scores, and the second half starts next here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Bank of Kansas halftime report. Prairie Bank of Kansas, serving Central Kansas since 1886. Join Aaron West and Chris Shank every Friday night for Buhler Crusader football. The second half kickoff is coming up next on HKFM.
Neufeld's Flooring, your experts in design and installation of carpet, tile, wood, and vinyl floor covering. Proudly sponsoring Buhler High School activities, Neufeld's Flooring in downtown Buhler.
During the last few years, we've seen a lot of change. One change that we're very proud of is that data shows alcohol use in Reno County 12th graders is down 11% since 2017. That's awesome. Change happens when people work towards common goals. Everyone can encourage our kids to make good choices. Thanks for being part of the solution. This is Carla from Rise Up Reno Prevention Network. Tell kids when you're proud of them. Rise Up Reno.
If you have not considered Wade Patton Insurance for your homeowner's insurance, you should call on us. Hello, this is Brad Patton here to remind you that we have the independent advantage to find coverage for your home. Buying insurance doesn't have to be an expensive burden, and we will shop our carriers for you and simplify the placement of coverage. We will tailor a policy to your individual needs, take the time to educate you on your coverage, and be sure you're protecting your biggest investment. Stop in our office on the corner of 6th and Main or find us on the web at WadePattonInsurance.com.
Yoder Meats is way more than just meat, but if you're looking for grain-fed, locally raised, antibiotic-free, and no hormone-added beef, Yoder Meats is the place. Feed the family with your choice of bundles or smaller butcher bags designed with a variety of meats to fit your needs. They have exotic meats too, and a wide variety of delicious cheeses, baked goods, groceries, specialty candies, gift items, and even products for your pet. Get it all at Yoder Meats in Yoder, open 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday. Find specials at yodermeatsks.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Buhler Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
And welcome back here. Let's quickly, before the start of the second half, run down some scores in our Buhler Dental Care scoreboard. The other 4A matchup on the east side tonight at halftime. St. James Academy is leading Bishop Miege 28-6. In 1A in the third now, it is Sedgwick 14, Inman 6. Halftime scores Mays and Wichita Cape tied at 7. Derby leading Lawrence 41-14. Canton Galva up on Little River 32-26. And Beloit leading Kingman 16-0.
One of the other games we have on the network tonight, Meade now ahead of Hill City 40-28. That on Sports 1 on the Ad Astra Radio app. And the last score we have out of Southeast of Saline, Andale was leading 14-8.
Buhler's lone score last week and a 7-0 win came on their first drive of the second half. They need positive results on this first drive again here in this sub-state round game. Andover Central waiting to kick the ball toward the north end zone. Matthew Eddy and Brock McCurdy back at the 10-yard line. And the right-footed kicker high in the air and out of the back of the end zone. Buhler will start at their own 20-yard line. Adjustments here in the second half.
Yep, the Crusaders just have to take it one down at a time. They do get the first possession of the second half since Andover Central won the toss and elected to take it. So hopefully the Crusaders can come out of the locker room, put together a scoring drive here, and get this thing back to a two-score game.
And this team is not going to stop fighting. I mean, they were down by to McPherson by 10. They were down to this team by 14, came back to get the lead. And so you know that they will have fight for the whole 24 minutes of this half.
1st and 10 from their own 20 out of the I formation. Here's Sam Elliott running right and ripped to the turf after a short 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
As the nickelback Noah Garcia making the stop there after the 2-yard gain on the sweep to the right. And a big thing for the Crusaders, too, the turnover battle went hardcore the way of Andover Central in the first half, them being +3. If the Crusaders can win the turnover battle in the second half, I like our chances.
2nd down and 8. Buhler out of the huddle with 20 in the play clock. Trailing 35-14 here on this Sub-State Friday. Brad Neal out of the gun with Elliott to his right. Elliott will get the carry across the formation and tripped up for no gain on the near side. This big defensive line for Andover Central. Just 3 of them, but they are a load. Dawson Howard, 6'1", 200. Drew Daniels, the nose guard in the middle, 6'1", 274. And Isaac Sheeran, 6'4", 210. All 3 of them seniors. And then they've got quite the stable of linebackers as well.
Yeah, of the guys in the box, their front 7, all seniors for Andover Central.
3rd down and 9 after the loss of 1 on that carry by Sam. Wing back to the right, 2 receivers split right. Brad out of the gun. And back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, throws in double coverage, and it's picked off by Cooper Tabor at the 50-yard line. And that is a 4th turnover tonight on the Crusaders.
Unfortunately for the Crusaders, Brock McCurdy was in double coverage that time. They had the high safety over there helping, and that's exactly who made the pick for Andover Central. So the Crusaders now -4 on turnovers tonight.
Boy, that's a tough call when you're down 3 scores, but don't you have to just eat that and live to fight another day? Or in this case, another down.
Yeah, the Crusaders coming into tonight only had 9 turnovers total. They have 4 this evening.
Andover Central has the ball back at midfield here in the 3rd quarter. Their first drive, 10:30 to play. And Kuntz to pass. And Stupka breaks past the receiver at the 10. Looked like he initially had his hands on the ball, but the contact with a defensive back broke up the play at the 10-yard line, incomplete.
That really would have been a backbreaker if Stupka had caught that. So luckily for the Crusaders, he wasn't able to hang on. Buhler's got to get a stop here to try to, because I tell you what, going down by 4 scores is nearly an impossible task to come back from.
And if only we had a little revenge there, they could have said he caught the ball and fumbled it, and we would have had it touchback in our
yes,
ball.
I was thinking the same thing.
Buhler had double coverage on Stupka, including the corner Deontay Campbell that time. Now a handoff to Barkdale up the middle, and forward progress into Buhler territory to their side of the 45. It's a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Boy, that 5 to 6 yards has been there all night long for Ashton Barkdale.
Well, they run so much misdirection when they have receivers coming across. It really makes it tough for the Crusader defenders to commit one way or the other, because if they bite on trying to go on one of the wide receiver sweeps, then it leaves the middle of the field wide open.
Dalen Coffey's going to check off on 3rd down. Levi Atherton in at defensive end. 3rd down and 5 at the Buhler 45-yard line. And here is Barkdale. Stopped shy of a 1st down. Buhler on a play up the middle, able to hold him short at the 42. It'll be 4th down and 2.
Yeah, Elliott and Tushton in on the good team tackle that time. Brings us up a 4th and 2. It'll be interesting to see if Andover Central punts for the 2nd time tonight, or if they really want to go for blood here and go for it.
I think they're going for it.
And if I was Coach Derek Tuttle, down in his 3rd season, came into the contest at 28-5, I wouldn't even consider punting the ball here.
Especially when you got the unit of Ashton Barkdale.
4th down and 2, big play early in the 1st half. Kai Kuntz will be under center. Watch for the sneak here. 2 receivers to the far side. Instead, it'll be Barkdale. And he drags Crusaders with him for the 1st down to the 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. He needed 2, and he went for 9.
And Barkdale really starting to warm up as this game goes on. I mean, he does a really nice job of having good body lean, has his shoulders square to the hole, and keeps his feet churning, and is a tough back to bring down. I mean, he's a bigger back, 6'1", 184.
And this is a guy coming off of a broken foot.
Well, he had a high ankle sprain for a couple of games earlier in the year, but he is running strong now. 1st and 10, clock running, 8:25 to go in the 3rd. 35-14 Andover Central. Kuntz out of the gun. Barkdale hit hard at the line of scrimmage and brought down at the 35 for a loss of 2.
Gavin Patton with the big tackle for loss there. And if you're the Crusader Black Knight defense, this is the time you need a play like that to kind of energize the defense and maybe try to get the stop here or get a turnover.
Crusader football tonight brought to you by Midway Motors, by Fee Insurance, by APAC Shears, H&R Block, and by Hutch Rec. Jaguars in no hurry here as Kai Kuntz comes running in after having a conversation on the sideline with his coach, the senior transfer quarterback. Out of the gun with Barkdale to his right, 3 receivers stacked right. On 2nd down, and they pitch it to the far side to Cooper Tabor, and that is blown up, and it goes nowhere. Jackson Childs and company there to stop that for a loss. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the Crusader defense tonight. Every time they've tried to run one of those wide receiver reverses, we've done a great job staying at home and dropping them for losses. So now Andover Central with a little bit of a dilemma here as they have 3rd and long. Let's see if the Black Knights can string together a couple more stops.
I still think they're in the 4-down territory here. Up 3 scores in the 3rd. A date with either St. James or Bishop Miege next week on the line. James is up double digits on Miege at halftime tonight. Kuntz out of the gun, wants to pass on 3rd and long. One-on-one coverage and just overthrows Cooper Tabor in the end zone. Incomplete. Tabor had beaten his D-back on the play down the field into the end zone, but incomplete.
Great job by the Buhler defensive line that time. They finally got some pressure on Kuntz. Kuntz, though, man, he was trying to sell a roughing the passer as he just laid on the ground forever. Bo Van Bruggen or Jackson Childs, I couldn't tell which of the Crusaders it was, finally went over and helped him up, showing some good sportsmanship. So Crusader defense so far holding tough here in this third quarter. Let's see if they can do it one more down.
4th down and 13. Andover Central will go for it. Talented tight end Brock Stupka's off the field. 3 wide receivers and a quick kick as Kuntz will punt it away with nobody back for Buhler. The ball rolls out of the back of the end zone.
Luckily, it gets into the end zone, so it forces the automatic touchback. So that punt ends up netting about 15 yards or less. So that's something the Crusaders can build on. I know, not trying to be a sunshine pumper right there, but Buhler gets the stop after the turnover. Now the Crusaders have a chance to really kind of reset things in the second half.
Being optimistic, yes, they did milk about 4 minutes off the clock, but the defense got a huge stop. That's a positive thing.
Forced them just the second time Andover Central's had to punt away this game.
Well, I'm just going to say they've got to stop turning the ball over. That's 1st and 10 at their own 20. 4 turnovers tonight. 2 picks thrown by Brad Neal. 2 fumbles, 1 on special teams, 1 by Sam Elliott. Some late switching here by the Andover Central defense. With that kick out of the end zone, clock stops. 6:34 to go in the third. Brad will be out of the gun with stacked receivers to the left. They'll run it right. And on 1st down, Sam Elliott with a gain across the 25 to the 26. 6 yards, easily one of his longest runs of the night.
Yeah, and I love the play call after Bradley Neal threw the pick the last time. Let the offense get a little momentum here, get some confidence going, and let Sam get some confidence too, as he has really been kind of slowed down this evening. It'd be great if he could break out here on this drive.
Coming to you tonight from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth here from Crusader Stadium. Wing left, 2 receivers left on 2nd down and 4, and the ball is thrown behind Brock McCurdy, incomplete at the 35-yard line.
Good coverage that time by the nickelback Noah Garcia here on the near flat. Brings up a 3rd and long 4, maybe 5 for the Crusaders here, and they desperately need to convert.
Clock stops with the incompletion. Crusaders, last time they played on November the 19th, they won back in 2016. They beat Mays South to go to the state title game. It's going to take a big comeback here tonight. Out of the eye. Play action. Brad to pass on 3rd down. Has a receiver caught at the 30 for a 1st down. And so they'll move the sticks with a pass to Tanner Tustin, who has been a huge part of the offense tonight.
Yeah, 3rd reception tonight for Tustin, and a big one as it gives the Crusaders a fresh set of downs. And remember, the Crusaders are working into the wind out there. I know it's not as stiff as it was to begin the game, but anything we can do against the wind this quarter is good.
7 yards to the senior. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 33. They stay in the eye. Brad back to pass with a 5-step drop. Has Matt Eddy on the near sideline and caught out of bounds. Another 1st down. That goes for 11.
Yeah, great job by Eddy holding on to it that time as Jackson Reese kind of tossed him around here on the near sideline. Some of the Crusader faithful wanted maybe an unnecessary roughness call. Doesn't come, but the Crusaders with another 1st down.
11 to the 44.
I may or may not have been one of those Crusader faithfuls.
4:59 to play here in the 3rd. From the left hash mark, Buhler right to left, wing back right, 2 receivers right. Elliott stays in the backfield. Brad to throw over the middle, hot potato, and it zips through the hands of Dalen Coffey at the 50-yard line, incomplete.
Yeah, just a little too much English on that pass as Bradley Neal tried to rifle it to Coffey there kind of in the middle of the traffic. But it'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Clock stops on the incompletion with 4:42 left to go here in the 3rd.
Need a hot dog for that mustard. 2nd down and 10. Coffey stays in it, a wing back to the right. 2 receivers right. Elliott to the right of Neal, who takes the snap out of the shotgun. Throws McCurdy, caught at the 50. Chance to get some yak yards. And he is out of bounds right at the 1st down stick.
Yeah, and the Crusaders really kind of going into a 2-minute offense here. kind of late in the third quarter, just because time is precious here when you're down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're really executing this, and this is almost as close as a run game as you can get. So being able to do those quick little 5-yard outs, quick slants, little sticks is perfect.
Out of bounds at the Central 46-yard line. That pass to McCurdy goes for 10. 1st and 10 from the right hash mark. Brad again out of the gun. 2 wings stacked to the right side. Brad wants to throw. Pressured as he lets it go, and it's caught in traffic but then dropped at the 30-yard line. It's slow to get up. Is
Tanner Tustin.
Tanner Tustin, excuse me.
Helping out for the Jags, number 55, Nate.
Yeah, Tustin looked like, he had to kind of go up for that one. It was very competitive. A couple Andover Central D-backs are right there.
He almost made a circus catch.
Oh, it would have been a miraculous catch had Tanner been able to hold on to it.
He made a couple circus catches week 2.
And boy, then when you're up in the air like that, you're trying to hold on to the ball. You have no way to brace yourself on that fall.
Yeah.
Second down and 10 from Andover Central's 46. 2 receivers near side. Out of the gun. Play action. Pass caught, but then immediately hit. Forward progress to the 42-yard line for Tanner Tustin. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Tanner Tustin continues to be our Wes Welker tonight, catching all these underneath routes. And so a 3rd and 6. Buhler obviously in 4-down territory probably for the remainder of this game, regardless of the situation.
And I don't know what Coach Tuttle told them in the locker room, but after the hit, these players have been just getting straight up and walking back to their defensive huddle.
3rd down and 6, 3:46 to play here in the 3rd. Out of the I formation, single receivers either side. They fake the handoff to Elliott. Brad wants to throw along this near sideline, zings it through 3 defenders. It's popped up in the air. A couple of Jags had a chance at it, a couple of Crusaders had at it, and Matt Eddy tried his best efforts to make a circus catch, keeping his feet in bounds and reaching out and pulling it back in, but he could not.
And the Crusaders will actually bring the punt unit on here with 3:32 left to go in the 3rd.
I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest.
Well, maybe it's fake time.
Well, we saw the Chiefs do it on Sunday. Tommy Townsend with a perfect throw on 4th down.
The JV quarterback.
That is Jeffrey Neal. He'll be the starting quarterback of this unit next year. He will punt it away with the right leg. High kick. It's going to be fair caught by Cooper Tabor at the 17. And the Jags have the ball back. Now Buhler with an interception and a punt in 2 series in the 3rd quarter. And tough to give that ball back as that drive came to an end. 3:26 left. Jaguars 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line.
Well, now, like we said, we're -4 on turnovers tonight. See if the Crusader Black Knight defense can turn them over here.
Sterling College basketball coming up on the network tomorrow afternoon. Warriors hosting the Southwestern College Mound Builders. 1st and 10 Jags here. Kai Kuntz out of the gun and movement up front before the snap.
So Andover Central piling up more penalty yardage. Remember, they had 125 yards at the half. Andover Central, they could get crazily maybe up to 200 yards in total penalties tonight.
Mentioned those 2 teams on the eastern side, St. James and Bishop Miege, responsible for the last 7 state titles in 4A. Miege, 6 of those. The last public school to win the title was Buhler in 2013. 1st down and 15. It'll be Barktel, who has been brilliant tonight on a left side run. Forward progress to the 20-yard line, so he gets the penalty yardage back +2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Andover Central very content to just keep it on the ground and keep that clock burning. They won't have to snap it till we're under 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd.
And he goes straight through the hole and still gets 7 yards.
He's definitely a north-south runner.
2nd down for the Jags.
He had 91 yards in the first meeting between these two in week 2 of September. He has been great tonight. Kuntz out of the gun. Barktel to his left, slipped and fell. He tackled himself that time as he lost his footing coming to his right and fell down at the 21-yard line.
Well, I tried to run to the northeast, and he didn't know how to do that.
I was going to say I thought our sideline guy put a hex on him there because he just dropped.
Tripped on the white paint.
It would be huge for the Crusaders to get a 3-and-out.
Yeah, the Crusaders need something like that to try to get some momentum back in this game.
And what was the key to the game? No big plays.
Well, our defensive backs, the opportunity here, will they unleash Kuntz on a 3rd down and 10, or will they stay conservative? And we'll see. 4 wide receivers, now 5 with an empty backfield. Kuntz
going for a bomb.
He went for the whole enchilada and overthrew Tabor by about 10 yards, incomplete.
Yeah, Tabor that time had the Crusaders beat on the go route, but luckily Kuntz overthrew it, and so now Andover Central will punt it away. So, hey, I tell you what, even though there hasn't been any scoring in the second half, the Crusader defense has buckled down and are playing some better ball here in this 3rd quarter.
What a
Got
season.
an injured Jaguar.
Looks like he was cramping up the whole play.
Tabor, who was the receiver, immediately sat down and started stretching. What a season it's been by this Crusader team. Just the one loss coming in at 10-1. Fantastic second half of the year. Won the league title. Back in the sub-state round for a 7th time in school history. And they've got some real estate to go to get back in this one with 1:55 to go in the 3rd, down 35-14. Coach Tuttle will elect to punt here from inside his own 10-yard line.
Crusaders look like they're going to try to block it.
Matt Eddy is back at his own 45. They'll get the kick away. It angles away from Eddy to the far side of the field along Andover Central's sideline. It'll roll out of bounds near the 35-yard line. So now we're trading punts here in the 3rd quarter.
Rolling out of bounds.
Got some Buhler Dental Care scoreboard updates on Kansas Rocks 100.3 from up at Beloit. Kingman pulling closer to the Beloit Trojans 22-13 now. Score update out of Little River. Canton Galva now pulling ahead of Little River 46-34. That with 2:05 left to go in the 3rd. That game over on Hit Radio 94.7 KSKU. And up the dial on Kicks Country 106, Andale leading Southeast to Saline 30-8 with 7 minutes left to go.
Buhler 1st and 10 from their own 33. $1:45 to go in the 3rd. Brad's going to be out of the gun with Sam to his left. 2 wings backs left. Elliott will take off on the play. Bradley Neal throwing over the middle. And the pass caught by Sam, who breaks out of a tackle. Scrambling across the middle of the field to the 40, down to the 41-yard line. He got hit and took a Jaguar with him across the 40 to the 41.
Maybe a little bit of a broken play. I think Sam Elliott was just the outlet pass as everybody else was covered, and so Bradley Neal just slung it underneath, and Sam nearly broke out of a tackle for even bigger yardage.
And we got another Buhler Dental Care scoreboard update. Battle of the Undefeated. Sedgwick Cardinals leading Inman Teutons right now, 21-6 in the 3rd.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3, I formation. 2 tight ends on 2nd down. Here is Elliott. Inside carry. Gets a progress forward of a yard to the 42. And that'll be it. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, clock continues to burn off. About 45 seconds left to go in the 3rd. Crusaders will have at least one more play here in this 3rd quarter.
3rd down.
This team is still fighting. You talked about it, Tyler. There's not any quit in this team. There's a lot of teams, they get down 3 scores this late in the year after what a great year it's been. Sometimes just kind of collapse. Buhler not doing that here in this second half.
10 on the play clock as they come to the line of scrimmage. On a 3rd and 2. Neal out of the gun, hands it off to Elliott. He's got the first down, he's got some room, and then tripped up at the 50. They'll mark his knee right down at midfield. It'll be 1st and 10 as they'll stop the clock to move the chains with 9 seconds left. We'll see if Buhler elects to just let that 9 seconds burn off. They will. That'll get us to the end of the 3rd. chasing 3 scores here with 12 minutes to go in the season. It is Andover Central 35, Buhler 14 here on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network. Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Buhler. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member-owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Buhler and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
Hutchinson Community College is enrolling now for spring. Take classes in Hutchinson, McPherson, Newton, or online. They're affordable, convenient, and flexible. Call 888-GO-HUTCH or email admissions@hutchcc.edu today.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Buhler Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
Our coverage tonight, part of the HCC Road to a Championship. We'll have state championship Saturday coverage coming up a week from tomorrow of our area teams that advance on. Those all 1 o'clock kicks next Saturday afternoon at various points around the state.
Well, and for our seniors, they might be down to their last 12 minutes of football unless they can have a Herculean comeback here in the fourth.
With Cameron Campbell in motion on a 1st and 10 from the 50. And they try to thread to Matt Eddy through double coverage to the 20. It'll be incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Mason White as well as Jackson Reese in coverage that time for Andover Central. And you mentioned it was the double coverage route there, not going to let Matt Eddy get behind him freely.
Talked about things going on in Hutchinson this weekend. The NJCAA Volleyball National Championships happening at the Sports Arena. Well, if you want to watch some athletes, some of the digs those young ladies make, you and I would not get up from. 2nd and 10 at the 50. Out of the eye. The pitch play. Elliott now. Elliott, the halfback toss down the field to Brock McCurdy. Juggles it incomplete at the 20. That was great coverage by Andover Central, and McCurdy still almost caught the ball, but incomplete.
Yeah, McCurdy jumped maybe, and he didn't need to, but great play call that time, as that's the first time I believe Sam has attempted a pass this entire season.
That has been the first call we have ever used since 6th grade.
Wow.
I kid you not.
You won't see Coach Neal call gadget plays very often. 3rd and 10, clock stop at midfield. 11:48 to play in the game. Brad out of the gun. Trips left, single receiver near side. He'll come to the near side of the open receiver. It is Matt Eddy. He's got the 1st down and out of bounds up the field across the 35. Out of bounds at the 33.
Great catch by Eddy that time. And I don't know about you guys, but just when I see the ball heading towards Matthew Eddy, I have positive thoughts because he has done so many good things for the Crusaders offensively this year.
When I see them leave Matt Eddy in single coverage,
you have good thoughts.
Yes.
And it's good to see him not injured after that huge pop earlier in the 3rd quarter.
That goes for 23 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. High formation. Brad wants to throw again. Eyes up the defense and throws it out of bounds. Double covered receiver in the near side of the 25 was Brock McCurdy.
One nice thing about the incompletions, they do stop the clock, because the clock is really going to become the other enemy of the Crusaders here. Less than a minute here into this 4th quarter.
And now not only do you have to score quickly, you have to get the defense to get the other team's offense off the field quickly. 2nd and 10 at the 33. They stay in the familiar eye. Brad, 5-step drop, throws into double coverage far side. Tipped and incomplete again to the Jaguar defense. Doing a fantastic job on those deep routes of playing tight coverage.
Yeah, Stupka over there on the far side in coverage for Andover Central. Really a physical defender back there. Kind of the prototypical safety. You want a tall guy that's physical, and that's exactly what Brock Stupka is.
Well, I thought this earlier in the year, and I don't want to take anything away from Mulvane's defense. Obviously, they held Buhler to 7 points last week, but I think this is the best defense Buhler's played this year.
Yes, their O-line and D-line really physical and really making us work this evening.
For third and 10 at the 33-yard line. Buhler needs something here. Brad Neal being chased, and he's going to be brought down. Sacked back at the 40-yard line. It'll be fourth down.
Good job by Neal just not turning it over because, I mean, he had guys in his face bearing down on him almost right after the snap. He had to roll to his right as he was flushed out of the pocket. Did a great job of not turning it over, but now the Crusaders with a dangerous fourth and long.
Camden Wilson, one of those outside linebackers, pursued him and dropped him. They mark him at the 39, and it'll be fourth down and long here. First down stick is up at the 23. Buhler breaks huddle with 14 on the play clock, 10:51 on the game clock, trailing 35-14. Trips right on fourth down. Sam Elliott to the right of Bradley Neal in the gun. Brad will take the snap, has plenty of time, steps up in the pocket, throws hot over the middle, and it is batted down incomplete, going for the interception that time. But not able to hold on is the Jaguars' Nate Peak. It'll be a turnover on downs, and the Jaguars will have the football back with 10 and change.
Yeah, that time Bradley Neal had lots of time to throw, but just great coverage in the secondary by Andover Central, and Buhler is forced to turn it over on downs. Now, like you talked about, Tyler, since the offense has had trouble scoring here in the second half, the defense is going to have to make something happen.
Yeah, definitely, and that's how we won that first Winfield game too. Let's see Jackson Childs get another pick six.
You'd have to run a ways from here. Jags from their own 39. Not that he wouldn't give it a go. Kuntz out of the gun with Barkdale to his right. He'll pitch it to Barkdale, trying to get to the edge, and Buhler chases him down. Black Knight defense down at the 41-yard line.
And Javon Ostrom,
39.
one of our high safeties, kind of banged up on the play. He's kind of hopping around gingerly. We'll hope that Ostrom's okay. We just got our first final across the Ad Astra Sports Network on the Buhler Dental Care scoreboard. Meade is advancing to the 8-man-1 state championship, defeating Hill City tonight 48-34 out at Meade.
Second down and 10 from the 39. And Kuntz will keep it on the ground, and Barkdale's going to get swallowed up. Back at the 36.
Little 22-on-22 crime that time, as it was Matthew Eddy tackling Berkdahl for the loss. Will bring up a third and long.
Well, Matt Eddy, so look out there at that defense. Just one of two guys that'll be back next year, he and Gavin Patton. That's it. Rest of this 11-man defense, all seniors. Clock running, 9:20 to play in the game. 35-14 Andover Central. Most points Buhler's given up in a game this season. Jags from this near side hash mark, going right to left. Four wide receiver look, trips right. Kuntz rolling to the right, has the open man Tabor at the 40, 45, and out of bounds near midfield, has the first down.
Great downfield block thrown that time by Brock Stupka, and that was what was able to help spring Cooper Tabor for the first down. So Andover Central converts on third down.
Winter practices started this week at the high school. Of course, at the middle school level, they've been playing basketball for about 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yeah, the girls in the Patriot League play before Christmas, and the boys play after Christmas.
First and 10 at the Buhler 49-yard line. Kuntz out of the gun, trips left. Barkdale behind him. He'll hand it off. Barkdale, big hole up the middle, 40, 35-30. This could be the backbreaker. 10-5 touchdown.
Yeah, it was a delayed draw that time. He faked the pass to the near side and then handed it off to Berkdahl, going right up the gut. And we talked about it. He's a great north-south runner, and he takes it to the house as Andover Central looks like they're going to be heading to Topeka next Saturday.
Well, this has been a good old-fashioned whooping here tonight. Isaac Say on for the PAT from the 10 to go up 4 scores. Snap was low. Hold down by Tabor. Kick is good. 8:51 to play here in the fourth. Andover Central 42, Buhler 14 on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
During the last few years, we've seen a lot of change. One change that we're very proud of is that data shows alcohol use in Reno County 12th graders is down 11% since 2017. That's awesome. Change happens when people work towards common goals. Everyone can encourage our kids to make good choices. Thanks for being part of the solution. This is Carla from Rise Up Reno Prevention Network. Tell kids when you're proud of them. Rise Up Reno.
Just like Hutch has been synonymous with salt dating back to its discovery here in 1887, Cargill is synonymous with salt. Cargill Salt of Hutch. Proud to support the schools of Reno County. Collaborate, create, succeed. Cargill Salt of Hutchinson.
HKFM.
Crusader football tonight from the Andover, from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth, brought to you by Sunflower Electric Supply, by Red Rock Auto Center, Hediger Family Dental, by Phoenix Restoration, and by Schmidt Electric. A 4-play touchdown drive for the Jags. 4 plays, 61 yards, and Say to kick from his 40. He's kicked it out of bounds, out of the end zone several times tonight. This will be a high wobbly kick, though, and it'll be fair caught at the 32.
Another Buhler Dental Care scoreboard update. A final out of Gypsum southeast of Saline Falls tonight to Andale, 37-16. So Andale continues to pile up the wins. I believe that's their 36th consecutive win.
And somebody listening from New Mexico tonight reminding us that southeast of Saline's high school is not in the city limits of Gypsum.
Ad Astra Radio goes worldwide.
Yeah,
what can we say,
everywhere.
folks? The people in Los Lunas, New Mexico, not happy with that, though.
1st and 10 Crusaders from their own 33, left hash mark, left to right, out of the I formation. Here is Samuel Elliott, and a near side run, the school's career rushing leader. And he will hold on to that mountain, I have a feeling, for a very long time.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that we're going to be talking about for many years. As some of the great Buhler tailbacks that will come after him, he's going to be up there for many, many years as the #1 rusher.
It's been just a pleasure to watch him run. I've gotten to see several of those guys, Jordan Oden, Tanner Fisher, Riley Allen, Dylan England, another one. Of course, Dylan was the tailback on the last team that went to state in 16. Bradley out of the gun, and a flag out.
It's going to be encroachment on Andover Central, so they continue to pile up the penalty yardage. Got another Buhler Dental Care scoreboard update in the big showdown over in Newton at Fisher Field in 1A action. Sedgwick at the beginning of the 4th quarter leading Inman 21-18.
Teuton's perfect season in jeopardy. Ball moves to the 41. It'll be 2nd and 2 from there. And Brad,
Crusaders
on a reverse to Matthew Eddy's got the first down in space across the 50. And forward progress to the Jaguar 47-yard line. And a nice little play coming across the formation on the handoff to Matt Eddy.
And the Crusaders still playing ball, guys. They might be down 4 scores, but the guys are still out there battling. A lot of teams would have just mailed it in at this point. Buhler's still trying to play hard.
12 yards for Matthews, sets up a 1st and 10 near side hash mark at the Jag 47. Brad out of the gun, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Big rush up the middle, pass caught.
Anytime is any time.
Across the 35 to the 33. Boy, I was just watching. Talked about how big those Jag guys are up front.
33-yard line, first down.
Well, you got a couple of those guys staring you down as quarterback. I'm out of there.
Yeah. They got some big fellas. Another Buhler Dental Care scoreboard update. Little River has retaken the lead over Canton Galva up in the 8-man 1 sub-state game, 48-46 with under 10 seconds to play.
Pass to Matt Eddy goes for 14, 1st and 10. They'll hand it off. Elliott inside handoff across the 30, still on his feet, 25, and he pushes the pile. That is a Sam Elliott run all the way down to the 23-yard line. Move the sticks yet again. So he goes for 10.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are still playing. I mean, it's a tough deficit, but the Crusaders still trying to get their first score here the second half.
7:17 left in the game. Brad out of the shotgun. Sam to his left. 2 receivers to the far side. Eddy is the single on the right side of the formation. Brad wants to throw. He's got McCurdy in the slot. He'll throw the swing pass out of the backfield to Elliott, scrambling across the 15 and down to the 10-yard line, very close to a first and goal. I think they're going to mark him down at the 11. So it'll be 1st and 10 for there, and a gain of 12.
So the beautiful thing for Buhler, we can get a first down without scoring here, so that's a great spot for the Crusaders. A great pitch and catch there from Bradley Neal to Sam Elliott.
Buhler trying for just their 3rd touchdown of the night. 6:44 to go, 42-14, down 4 scores. Brad out of the gun. They go with 2 tight ends here on 1st and 10. Sam Elliott up the middle, doesn't have a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. The only touchdown last week was by Brad Neal. Up the middle, forward progress to the 7-yard line. It'll be 2nd down from there. They can get to the 1 for a first down. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Dalen Coffey will check back in, and Brock McCurdy coming out for the Crusaders.
Sam's now just milking those yards away to be able to get several more on his record.
Buhler to the line, 6 in the play clock, fumbled snap, and I think Bradley's able to fall on it.
Unfortunately,
Jags got it. And a 5th turnover on the Crusaders.
Yeah, turnovers kill. I mean, it was one of the keys to the game tonight was winning the turnover battle. Buhler had the advantage on the season, plus 19. Now after that 5th turnover, just plus 14 on the season. And we have yet to turn over Andover Central this evening.
3 fumbles and 2 INTs. And the Jags in position to assault this one away with 5:49 to go from their own 13. Basketball season starts 2 weeks from tonight in the gym against Nickerson. That'll be the gold out night. Here's Kai Kuntz out of the gun, flag out at the snap as Jags run up the middle to the 15. Forward progress there, and a little bit of noise after the whistle.
See what the flag was out on the initial stuff. The Buhler faithful wanting a flag afterward because there must have been something extracurricular.
It got pretty bad by Dalen Coffey and whoever was blocking him.
Levi Atherton checking in on the D-line for the Crusaders here. Still waiting on the call from the officials here.
Holding, offense, half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Holding on the offense is the call. 3rd Jag penalty in the second half. 13th of the night is half the distance. It'll be first down from there. The football moved back to the 7-yard line.
So the Crusaders, let's see if the Black Knights can turn them over here. Try to get their first turnover of the night. It's been a long time, fellas, since we were -5 on the turnovers in a game.
Here's Kai Kuntz out of the gun, still out there, the senior quarterback. Hands it off to Barktel. Boy, both these teams lose a lot next year. We talked about all the seniors in the Buhler lineup. Andover Central has a slug of them too.
Yeah, I mean, on defense, they only have 2 juniors starting, and on offense, they only have 3 juniors. So it's one of those things that both of these teams very senior laden.
2nd down at 17. That gold out night 2 weeks from tonight against Nickerson in the gym in memory of Hadley Nelson, Lady Panther who lost her battle with cancer. Snap is low. Kuntz will hand it off to Barktel. He has stood up at the 10, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Crusader D-line making the stop there. I believe it's Tanner Tushton coming up with the stick for Buhler. Clock continuing to bleed here with 4.5 remaining. Another Buhler Dental Care scoreboard update from Little River in the shootout. Canton Galva has retaken the lead 54-48 with 9 minutes left to go in the 4th.
I did learn something this week.
What's that?
So Mike McCoy has the school record for most yards in a game. Sam Elliott in a game last year came within 3 yards of breaking that. I'll tell you the rest here in a minute. On 3rd down and 12, Kuntz out of the gun. And a handoff, it'll be a keeper by Kai Kuntz, and he'll be tackled at the 11. It'll be 4th down from there. At 364 yards came on November the 4th, 1971 against Nickerson. The quarterback that night for the Nickerson Panthers was none other than Cliff Ray.
Huh. Interesting.
So I learned that. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Mr. Ray, and of course I like talking to those guys, whether it's him or some of the guys that have been around for so long that they know the history. Cliff Ray also had the first ever base hit in the history of the Hutchinson Blue Dragon baseball program. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Timeout is going to be taken here. It is 4th down and 12 for the Jags. They're going to burn a timeout. Up 42-14, 3:15 left. I'll take one as well. This is Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Hi, this is Randy Gotti with the Buhler Booster Club. Check out their Crusader Closet at our next home football game. Our customized designs and inventory are continually updated, from seats to blankets, t-shirts and sweatshirts, shorts and joggers. Crusader Closet has you covered for all things Buhler. All sales support our Crusader students through the Buhler Booster Club. Like the Buhler High School Booster Club on Facebook to keep up to date and outfit your entire family with the Buhler gear they want at the Crusader Closet.
Parking lots and driveways can be expensive to install. This is Derek Fees. Let APAC Kansas Shears Division help you properly maintain these investments. Patching, crack filling, sealing, and striping are just some of the services we provide. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
HKFM.
And back here on a 4th down and 12 with 3:15 left, 42-14. And looks like the Jags will punt near their own 1 yard line. As Isaac Say set to punt this one away late. High short kick. His punting game has not been all that big tonight. A lot of short kicks. This one will be taken inside the 35. It'll set the Crusaders up with good field position here.
All right, so we'll see if the Crusaders can try to get their first score of the second half. Just got another Buhler Dental Care scoreboard updated. It's all tied up in Little River, 54 all between Little River and Canton Galva.
Buhler 1st and 10 from the Andover Central 31. Brad Neal, who will lead his team to the line, is second all-time in career passing to great Jace Williams. Brad to throw, wants to add some to Brock McCurdy. Oh, he had the touchdown at the 5, and he dropped the football.
Rats. Brock had his man beat, and it was a pretty well-thrown ball, and Brock just couldn't quite hang on to it. I tell you, that's just kind of one of those plays that kind of just sums up the evening. Just things just not clicking all the way tonight for Buhler.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Crusader football brought to you by Apple Lane Animal Hospital, by Gravel and Concrete, Erickson Custom Building, by Yoder Meats, McKenzie Paint and Body, and by Goins Renovation. 2nd and 10, clock stop, 3 minutes to go in the game. Bradley Neal out of the shotgun. Twins left. They'll put Cameron Campbell in motion to the right. They'll hand it off. Here is Sam Elliott running right, makes a man miss at the 35, 20, 15. Weaving his way, there is no quit in Sam Elliott, 2-time wrestling state champion, down to the 12-yard line, 1st and 10.
I tell you, watching Sam run the ball right there, I know, Tyler, you're feeling it too. Just watching him play, it's just getting sad just thinking about that we're not going to get to see him in maroon and white next year.
Nope.
All right, 1st down here, Brad scrambling. And a tussle for the ball in the back of the end zone, incomplete. Well, I'm going to make a plea here that we get to watch Sam Elliott run one more time, as I think he should make the Shrine Bowl.
Yes.
I think he is that good. He's had that kind of career that he earns those type of honors, don't you?
I agree wholeheartedly. That'd be pretty sweet, too.
Second down and 10 from the 12. Clock stopped with the incompletion.
12-yard line, second down.
2:36 to play. Twin receivers to the far side. Matt Eddy, single coverage to the right side. Brad will throw back across the formation to his tight end, Van Bruggen at the 10, 5, and bangs his way into the end zone. Speaking of Crusaders with the records, on the defensive side, the all-time school sack leader scores an offensive touchdown, a 12-yard pass, Buhler's first of the second half.
And Bo really just lowered the boom there at the end of that run as he started running into contact about at the 2 or 3 yard line and just lowered the shoulders, kept the legs churning, and takes it across the goal line for Buhler's first score of the second half.
2:29 to play in the game. A 12-yard touchdown pass from Brad Neal to Bo Van Bruggen. Third TD pass of the night. Kick is up and good.
Point after is good.
38th TD pass of Brad Neal's career. That is good for second all-time to Jace Williams. 2:29 left here. 42-21 on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
At Allen Samuels of Hutch, the 2022 model years are available for order, with Dodge Ram 1500 Crew Cab starting at only $28,800. And the best-in-class 3500 Crew starts at only $35,400. Let Allen Samuels Hutch show you a better way to order your next vehicle, the way you want it. That's the Allen Samuels way. Order your new vehicle today for year-end delivery, located on the giant corner of 30th and Lorraine, or visit us online 24/7 at AllenSamuelsHutch.com. And as Mr. Samuels always says,
come by, let's be friends.
From their beginnings in 1989, Wifco Steel Products has grown to be the premier supplier of storage tank hardware in the U.S. and Canada, and they're still growing. Apply today at WIFCOSP.com. Wifco Steel Products, the experts in steel fabrication.
HKFM.
Well, don't you wish you had a voice like the guy that does the Wifco commercials?
He's got some pipes.
He just sounds like a guy you don't want to mess with. 3 plays, 31 yards to the touchdown pass to Bo Van Bruggen. Now an onside kick. It'll be recovered by Andover Central near their 41.
Yeah, it was Colin Sheeran, younger brother of the big Isaac Sheeran, that recovered it there for Andover Central. So now if you're Buhler, 2:21 remaining, even though down 21, just got to come out and try to turn these guys over again.
Mark it at their own 45.
Just try to get the score down a little bit closer.
42-21.
I want to say something about Sam's wrestling stats real quick. In 4A state rankings, he's ranked number 1 in the 160-pound weight class, but he is planning to wrestle 170, which he's ranked number 1 in all class.
Here's Kai Kuntz out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the near side. And they'll keep it on the ground with Barktel for a short 2-yard one. Of course, T-Money, he is not the only Buhler Crusader wrestler ranked number 1 in the state to begin the year.
Nope, and actually, real quick, I think he's ranked 2nd all-time for all class, but then Emily Schweitzer on the girls' side, she's actually ranked number 2 nationally in the 235-pound weight class.
Christopher, let's you and her wrestle. 47.
Emily, she was actually supposed to play baseball with us once upon a time back in youth ball, but had an arm injury, and so she didn't get the opportunity. But I know she's a nice young lady.
Second down and 8. Kuntz will stay out of the gun. New running back in now. And a carry across the 50 to the Buhler 49-yard line. This is the junior Jace Reese, 5'9", 172.
Gavin Patton, one of the few junior starters on the Black Knight defense, making the stop for the Crusaders there.
Third down and 4. 1:26 left to go in the season. The Crusaders. Well, it has to end sometime. You didn't want it to be tonight. Hoping for one more week. Coach was wanting a morning practice on Thanksgiving. One minute to go as Kuntz takes the snap. Hands off to Reese. They'll be drugged down after a gain of 1 at the 48-yard line. Talked about all the success he has had here, the winningest coach in school history, ahead of the great Vern Hendrickson many years ago, was the coach here. Another great coach. Well, it's been a while back ago. There have been some really bright moments in the history of this program, but the last 16 years, Buhler's never had a losing record. They set a record for wins with 13 in 2013. 4th down and 4, 12 seconds to go. Andover Central will run the final play of the game. And getting the handoff this time is Blake Bainham, and that will do it.
Blake Bainham, number 23.
So not the way we wanted it to go tonight for those of us dressed in maroon.
Ball for the Jags. It should turn over on down to the
But Buhler's season will come to an end here at Crusaders Stadium. Now the clock is stopped here with 2 seconds. Can't imagine they're going to run another play, but I guess they are.
Wow.
I'm not sure why. Well, it was a turnover on downs. It was a 4th down play.
Gotcha.
And so they blew the whistle with 2 seconds left. And Buhler is going to have to run one more play here. Ball at the 48-yard line. 2 seconds on the clock.
So one last bullet in the chamber here for Buhler.
Brad out of the gun. 3 wide receivers. And here's Sam Elliott up the middle at the 40. 35-30, still on his feet at the 25-20, 15-10, down to the 5. And how appropriate that the final play of the game is another brilliant Sam Elliott run. And
I wanted
he was going to score.
I wanted him to get 6 there so bad.
Oh my gosh. I thought he had it.
He has represented this school and this town with just such a great way and a tough, emotional way to end his high school football career.
Well, he got 47 on that play. He needed 5 more, and I thought he was going to get it. What a man. What a player. What a career. Crusaders, you can be proud. The school's new career rushing leader all time, and I know he'd give all that back to get one more game with his squad. Sam Elliott, what a career. And what a season for this Buhler Crusaders squad. They will finish at 10-2. There are only 2 losses on the year to these Jaguars. You know, I think Buhler has improved a ton. I think they're a better team than they were in week 2. I would say the same about Andover Central.
Yeah, they got better. I mean, in Andover Central, you think about in a lot of the games this year, we dominated the line of scrimmage, and Andover Central has a great line play on both sides and good players across the board, and they don't just have one great player. They've got quite a few studs across the board, and I mean, I think Andover Central is the type of team that could win the state title.
Well, you really have to have 2 things. Number one, I don't care what level you're at, you've got to have a quarterback. And then outside of that, typically who dominates the line of scrimmage wins the game.
Yeah, and they really did a nice job of dominating line of scrimmage. And too, anytime you have a game that you go +5 on turnovers, I mean, you're going to win it 9 times out of 10, and they a Buhler team that had only turned it over a total of 9 times on the entire season. We almost had, well, we had almost half as many in a game tonight.
Mr. Sizer, on behalf of the Kansas State High Schools Activities Association, Coach Warner coming over from the 50 along with Coach
But you can't win a football game against a good team with 5 turnovers. The other thing about this game, it's a lot easier to lose by 21 points than it is to lose by 1. You know, and Andover Central, you got to give it to them. They beat us twice. They're the better team this year, and we wish them well against St. James Academy and hope they win a public school championship.
I will not be wearing Jag gold next Saturday, but I will root for Andover Central to win the title, and that would be the first public schools we've said in the broadcast tonight since Buhler won it in 2013 against Coffeyville in Salina.
I would like to remind everybody real quick, don't forget about the Ad Astra per Aspera Downtown Hutchinson Christmas Parade starts at 10 o'clock.
We're going to have quite the lineup this year. We've had a number of, I don't know how many entry forms I took just today. So it'll be a busy Saturday, a lot going on, and an opportunity to get out and support what's happening in our community. 42-21 is the final. The Jags will play for a 4A state title next Saturday afternoon in Topeka. They move on with a record now of 11-1. The Crusaders finish their season at 10-2. Lots to talk about coming up in our Crusader Locker Room show. We'll get final thoughts from Coach, your final numbers, and we'll bring you some final scores elsewhere as well. That's all coming up next here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You've been listening to exclusive coverage of Crusader football on HKFM. The Crusader Locker Room Show is next. Coming up, we'll bring you analysis and break down the numbers from tonight's game. Your home for Crusader football, HKFM.
Have an appliance that doesn't work or a yard full of scrap metal and don't know what to do with it? Hi, this is Kathy from Midwest Iron, and you can save the environment and put a little money in your pocket by bringing it to us at 700 South Main. Call us at 620-662-0551. Midwest Iron, recycling for tomorrow's environment.
When disaster strikes your home or business, call your hometown team. Call Phoenix Restoration. Hi, this is Robin Swanson. My husband Ryan and I and our team at Phoenix Restoration are proud to be Reno County's only locally owned fire and water restoration company. When the unthinkable hits your home or business, we are here to help. We'll put our 10+ years of experience to work to help you recover. Check us out at phoenixrestorationandroofing.com. Phoenix Restoration will help you rise again after your disaster.
Shoot and score this upcoming winter season with Hutch Rec Youth Basketball Leagues. Registration is now open for both recreation and competitive leagues for youth in 1st through 6th grades through December 12th. Register in person at Hutch Rec Downtown at 17 East 1st or online at hutchrec.com. Games start in January and are played on Saturdays. For more information, visit hutchrec.com and follow Hutch Rec on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Rise and shine. It's daylight time and time to go to your happy place. November is a good time to remember all the things we are thankful for, and we are thankful for you and your support. You can show the people you are thankful for a little kindness by giving them some fresh, made-from-scratch Daylight Donuts from your 30th Street Daylight Donuts. We're open every morning at 5 a.m. Order online and have them ready to pick up or come in and see us any day. Your Hutchinson 30th Street Daylight Donuts at 1435 East 30th.
For sand, gravel, concrete, and decorative rock, call the professionals at Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Locally owned and family operated, John, Chris, Laura, and Lyle Paulson are always happy to help you with your sand, gravel, and concrete needs. And be sure to check out their large selection of landscape holders. That's Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Call 422-3249.
Serving all of Central Kansas, Gravel and Concrete Incorporated, 7010 North Nickerson Road. Call 422-3249.
HKFM.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back as we wrap things up tonight in our Crusader Locker Room show. And I figured it up. Tonight was my 140th game play-by-play for Crusader football. That's a lot.
That is.
I'm old.
You've been to more Buhler games than I have, Aaron, and I grew up around here.
I think the home is calling me.
Well, just wait till you get to 200
goodness.
plus. But talking about calling those games, I know, Tyler, it's
a lot of miles.
I know it's an emotional night for the seniors, and that's always kind of the tough thing is just knowing that.
I don't know if he's ready to talk yet or not.
I'll keep it together for a little bit.
Love you, buddy.
It definitely hurts a lot just seeing these guys, playing with them since 3rd grade, being the last game, and then this being my last time putting on the headset. It definitely hurts.
Oh, we'll get one on you again. Don't you worry. Somewhere, somehow.
We'll drag you to some basketball games.
We'll find a way. Well, you heard that he is one of the managers on the basketball team this year. And so he'll be at all the games. We'll, some night Coach will forget to come out and do his post game, and we'll drag you on. So at some point. Well, things did not get started the way of the Crusaders tonight. Of course, Andover Central got the ball first. 4 plays into the end zone, led 7-0. Then the Sam Elliott fumble Jaguars punted on their second series. Buhler in business down just 7, but then Bradley Neal threw the first of 2 INTs. Noah Garcia picked the ball off. Jaguars have the ball back at their own 37. 3 more plays, and they're back in the end zone, up 14-0. Buhler would score their first touchdown on their next drive. Started from their own 25, 8 plays, 75 yards, and a 5-yard touchdown pass to Tanner Tushkin. That made it 14-7. Buhler in business late first quarter. Jags just unstoppable in the first half on offense. 1 play, 78 yards. Kai Kuntz, who was a difference maker, he and Barkdale tonight, 21-7. Later on in the half, it was 28-7 after another turnover, a Matt Eddy fumble on a kickoff return. Buhler's next touchdown came at 6:09 to play in the half. A 50-yard strike from Brad Neal to Tanner Tushkin made the score 28-14. It's still a game. Jags, though, would not be denied. They score one more time there at the end of the half. 2:40 to play and a 2-yard Kai Kuntz run, and that made it 35-15 at halftime. Jaguars would tack on one more touchdown in the second half. 8:51 to play in the fourth. This is a 50-yard run by Ashton Barkdale. Made it 42-14. Final score for the Crusaders came with 2:29 to go in the game on a 12-yard touchdown pass from Brad Neal to Bo Van Bruggen, the extra point good, 42-21. And that is your final. 3 touchdown passes thrown by Brad Neal tonight. And boy, if you would have told me in the final 2 weeks of the season that Sam Elliott would not have a rushing touchdown, I would have been shocked.
Yeah, and it wasn't for lack of trying or giving him chances, but the Crusaders just ran into 2 really good defenses here the last 2 weeks, was able to scratch out that hard-fought win last week against Mulvane, and then tonight, Andover Central, we knew this game, since they played back in week 2, is really going to be a referendum on who had improved the most since week 2, and because that was a game we talked about. Buhler really had a chance to win that thing at the end. Took the lead late, and then gave up that late touchdown with about a minute left to lose back in week 2. But this Andover Central team, I'm not saying Buhler didn't get better, but this Andover Central team got light years better from week 2 as well.
Boy, certainly hard to put, some games you look at 1 or 2 plays, you're like, well, that could have been the difference in the game. Obviously, that is not tonight.
Yeah.
5 turnovers tonight. But then very uncharacteristic of this defense. All year when they've needed a big play, they've found a way to make it happen. They just weren't able to do that tonight.
Yeah, and I think the 5 turnovers, that is just the biggest stat of the game, because it's tough enough to overcome a couple turnovers, but giving up 5 turnovers and not turning over Andover Central once, that's just a massive stat. And
and we talked about the line of scrimmage, and the game really won there. Buhler's always hung its hat on being a stingy defense and not giving up much yards on the ground. Kai Kuntz and Barkdale felt like anytime they wanted 5 or 6 yards tonight, they could have it. So
yeah, they have a nice offense the way it's set up. They have the passing game to kind of set up the run the way they do it with that shotgun set, where basically they throw so much out of it that anytime they give it to Barkdale or Kuntz right up the gut, your defenders are really worried about the pass and just try and bring a pass rush and coming up field. But Andover Central's got a good offense. They've got a great defense, and to stuff Sam Elliott and hold him for as few yards as they did. I haven't looked at the final totals on what Sam finished with, but and we just got a Buhler Dental Care scoreboard update. Inman has defeated the Sedgwick Cardinals 26-21. Yes, Inman scored 20 unanswered points over there at Fisher Field.
Wow.
So the Inman Teutons will move on to Hayes next week to take on the Olpe Eagles.
Looking for a first ever state title.
Yes.
Once upon a time, back in the old MKL days, Buhler and Inman would have been rivals.
Yes. Oh, there's
in a yesterday ago.
There's still a lot of that old school rivalry. I can remember going up there, Aaron, and playing in a sophomore basketball game. And let me tell you, Aaron, there's not a lot of people back in the day when we played sophomore basketball that you'd have much of a crowd. And we were over there playing in the old gym at Inman. the night that they had varsity games going on. Buhler wasn't playing them in varsity, and that old barn was packed. I think there might have been more Inman people in that old gym watching Buhler play than the varsity. But anyway.
All right, well, we've got Coach we'll get Coach on the line here. We'll get to our final stats, play and player of the game coming up tonight as well. And always a tough conversation at the end of the season with Coach. But, Coach, first of all, let me just say thank you again for being so gracious with your time and even calling when it's not fun to talk. I really appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you, too. You always do a great job for all of the Crusaders and obviously football. But thank you.
Absolutely. Boy, you guys have done such a great job this year at getting off to a good start. But it's just tough from the get-go. Things kind of didn't start your way, snowballed a little bit from there. And you were able to claw your way back in the game, got within a touchdown a couple of times, but we just never could stop their offense in that first half.
We really couldn't. And right before the half, I thought, we might have been able to pull it within 14, and we didn't score there I think we're on 7. And obviously that was a big part. But another problem with turnovers, and obviously you saw their speed and the strength and size of their line. And we knew it. We knew that we were going to have to play well. And I thought we did a good job with our penalties because we had penalty problems last week. And then for us, when we can't run the football like we want to, then it definitely affects how we play. Yeah,
absolutely. You and I talked about it that, coming into the game, you couldn't get in a penalty war with them. That wasn't certainly going to be a way to find success, and you're able to avoid that. -5 in the turnovers tonight. It's going to be really hard to win any game at that deficit, and it's things overall.
Especially especially in sub-state against a really good opponent to have 5 turnovers, but. Definitely not the way we wanted it to end. But it's terrible to have to sit there and watch the seniors cry because it's their last game. But this group has really grown up, and we've had a lot of adversity this year, and I'm proud of the way they handled it. And they became a team, and they became a very good football team.
Yeah, absolutely. All the way to the Final Four in 4A, one of the last 4 teams standing. What a group of 20 it's been, and it's been so fun. Didn't feel right to single any one of them out at this point. It's just been a real joy to watch them play football, and I know that all fantastic young men that are going to go on to do great things. So,
well, I feel like they will too, and I think that a lot of them grew up this year and became young men that we wanted them to be, and I'm proud of them.
And they'll be remembered here, too, for a long time, Coach. Even though they don't make it to the state title game, their names forever cemented in the record books all over the place. These guys will be remembered for a long time.
They will. Record breakers, I know Bo and Sam right off the top of my head. I know Jeffrey broke some records. And it's just, and then 10 wins in a season is in the top 5, I believe, is for your most wins in a season. And, it's been a while since we've had a 10-win season. I think it's been probably 5 years as a guess. I really haven't looked to see, but it's been a while since we've won 10. So that means a lot to me to get into the double-digit wins, and just a lot of hard work goes into it, and that's why it's so hard to be finished and know you're done. We talked about this a little bit ago, that all the summer hours we spend together, and there's a lot of time that spent on it, and we talk about how much we work and how much the kids work for it. So you definitely don't want it to end.
No, absolutely not. You want to play for one more Saturday, and I know at the end of the day, though, they've turned into, as we said, terrific young men, and something you can hang your hat on is that you've helped them build into men of character, and that's certainly a big part of what your job as a coach is. So.
Well, what football is all about is, yes, sure we want to win every game, but it's also about building young men and building relationships. And the relationship that we have with these kids, I think, is very, very important for their growth, and also, to be honest, for ours. And that's why a lot of us teach. We love kids, and we want to be around kids, and we want to help grow up. And I think that they have grown up this year.
That's why we got to keep you coaching for a while, Coach. We got to get you to 300 wins. So
I agree. That's a goal. I definitely would like to have that. That would mean a lot to me.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you. And thanks so much. And we'll look forward to sitting down again and visiting coming up on Monday.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, that is head coach Steve Warner. I know you've been in that situation where your season came to an end not like you wanted to and that close to winning a state championship. But Coach talked about it, just how fantastic of young men they are. And, and at the end of the day, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, maybe even 5 years from now, they can look back and be really proud of what they accomplished.
Yeah, one of the things Coach Warner talked about was relationships. And that's something that anybody that's played any sport, you build those relationships with your coaches. And that's something that never changes. Walking in tonight, Coach Porter was down there on the fence all by himself, and he was my high school coach here at Buhler. I was lucky enough to have him and had a nice visit with him, and he's somebody that still to this day, I think about things that he taught us, and I know that those guys in that Buhler locker room feel the same way about Coach Warner and the assistant coaches, that there's guys there. Coach Zion was one of my coaches in high school. I still think about things that he taught me, and you have the goal of trying to win a state title, but unfortunately only one team in 4A and above gets to end the season on a win, and it's the state champion. And this team really had all the pieces and the ability to do so, but we dealt with an Andover Central team tonight that this team can play ball, and it's tough when that final game of the season is always tough. And for those seniors, because one thing that makes football so different from many other things, this is the last time pretty every one of those guys, unless they go play in college, will ever get to wear shoulder pads again, ever get to tackle somebody, ever get to play this game. It's not like basketball and other sports that you get other opportunities to. I mean, this is the end of the line for those guys. And they talked about the summer. They work all summer long. They work in the off season. They worked for years for this point. But they can keep their heads high that they did it the right way and battled to the Final Four.
Well, you talk about Coach Zion, of course. Back in the day, for a couple of years, he was the head coach of this football team. But you think about how many miles him and Coach Atkins combined.
I
how
didn't
many
mention
miles?
Coach Atkins. He's down there on the field, and another one of those guys that's been with the Buhler program for, since I was a kid. And that's one thing. Buhler has so much continuity in the staff, amongst all those guys. I mean, Coach Coles, Coach Ruda, Coach Hotmer. I mean, Coach Heinlein, all those guys, Coach Neal. I mean, these guys have been at it for a long time. I forgot Coach Gray. I can't forget him. But, we've got a lot of guys that have been at it for many years. And it's just tough to see nice kids like the senior class have their final game and their season come to a conclusion.
All right, Coach Willie, he'll be the last one to leave tonight. He is every Friday.
So, yes, he is always the last of the Mohicans.
He's in the stands with a trash bag, that guy is. That's how amazing he is. All right, we'll come back, get you final stats and some final thoughts from Crusaders Stadium. Andover Central wins it to move on to the state title game. This is our Crusader Locker Room Show on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
Listening to the Crusader Locker Room Show. Listen to Crusader football on your smartphone with the Ad Astra radio app. Join head coach Steve Warner for the Crusader Coaches Show, Monday nights at 6:30 on HKFM.
Shop at Jackson Meat this holiday season. Our meats are fresh, our prices are reasonable, and our customer service is personalized. Pre-order one of our fresh smoked turkeys, old-fashioned hams, or other specialty meats. Experience the difference when you shop at Jackson Meat in downtown Hutchinson.
Erickson Custom Building has a great plan and a budget suited for your needs. Whether it's a new build, a remodel of a kitchen, interior, exterior, or an insurance restoration project, Erickson Custom Building provides quality craftsmanship and superior customer service. We stand behind our work and have lasting relationships with vendors, suppliers, and most importantly, with you, the customer. Erickson Custom Building, proud to support all high school activities. Call 620-585-2816 or visit EricksonCustomBLDG.com.
Feed your animals greatness. Feed your animals Purina. For the past 125 years, no company has devoted more time and effort to learning the nutritional needs of livestock and companion animals than our partners at Purina. We are proud to produce and offer many of their quality products as both bagged and bulk feeds at our Hillsboro and Mound Ridge locations. To learn more, go to CountrysideFeed.com.
Your livestock need top quality feed, made with pride by Countryside.
Have a smile you want. Come and see us today. We have time for you. Open Friday.
I'm Dr. J. You can have the healthy, beautiful smile you deserve. Come see me today at Hutchinson Family Dental.
Dr. J. Stuckey, Hutchinson Family Dental.
Are you building a house?
A swimming pool?
Are your lights flickering?
Call Schmidt Electric.
That's Schmidt Electric. 620-960-6755. Schmidt Electric will take care of all your electrical needs.
Got Spock?
HKFM.
And back here on our Crusader Locker Room Show, time for tonight's final numbers. Brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs, proudly serving businesses in Kansas for the past 70 years. Online at adamsbrown.cpa.com. Chris has a look at your totals.
So taking a look at the final numbers, want to thank Ethan Ricker. Does a great job of getting us the stats after the game. So crazy statistic just jumping out. We actually outgained Andover Central in total offense tonight, 425 yards to 389. Getting a look at some of the individual through the air tonight. Bradley Neal throws for 287 yards. He goes 17 of 36 because there was the one attempt there for Sam Elliott. Through the air for Andover Central, Kai Kuntz goes 5 of 11 for 106 yards and a touchdown. Neal had the 3 TDs and the 2 INTs. On the ground, though, Andover Central has the decisive advantage, 283 yards compared to Buhler's 138. And we'll get into the individual statistics. So, again, Bradley Neal, 17 of 36 for 287, 3 TDs, 2 INTs. Kai Kuntz, 5'11", 106 for 1 TD. On the ground for Andover Central, Ashton Barkdahl, leading rusher of the game, 25 carries, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kai Kuntz, right behind him, 8 carries for 127 yards. He averaged almost 16 yards a carry and 3 touchdowns. And then a couple other Jaguars rushed for a few yards here and there. Sam Elliott for the Crusaders, leading rusher on the night, 17 carries for 116 yards, a good chunk of them there on that last run. Matthew Eddy, 1 carry for 12 yards. Cameron Campbell, 1 carry for 5. Bradley Neal, 5 carries for 4. And Tanner Tushton, 1 carry for 1. Receiving-wise tonight, Brock Stupka, the leading receiver for Andover Central. He has 3 catches for 79 yards and a TD. Cooper Tabor, a catch for 14. Ashton Barkdahl with a catch for 13. Sam Elliott, leading receiver tonight for the Crusaders, 5 receptions, 141 yards. Tanner Tushton has 4 catches, 2 of those going for touchdowns for 66 yards. Matthew Eddy, 4 catches for 42 yards. Brock McCurdy, 3 catches for 26, and Bo Van Bruggen had the 1 catch for the 12-yard touchdown run or reception as well. And really the only other stats that jump out, time of possession tonight, Andover Central wins that 25-21. And, penalties. We need to talk about that. That was one of the storylines. Andover Central finishes with 13 penalties for 145 yards. Buhler, 4 penalties for 60 yards. Buhler does not have a penalty in the second half.
And Sam Elliott finishes his brilliant career with 5,174 yards rushing. And I'm not saying it's not going to be broken, but it's going to take somebody awfully special.
It will, because one of the other things, too, traditionally in the Buhler system, a tailback, they're not really going to get many carries until they're a junior or senior. And so with him being the feature back his sophomore year on, I mean, that's something that record is going to stand for many, many years to come, and couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Sam Elliott's one of those people that you never run into anybody that has a bad word to say about him. Just a nice kid, hardworking kid, and a kid that this team really rallied around throughout his career.
And Bradley Neal finishes his solid career as a 3-year starter with 3,582 yards. That is second all-time, and fantastic, and he set a new career high for yards in a game tonight.
Yes, I mean, and you think about that, that's one of the real storylines of this year as well. Bradley Neal's just continued development and improvement and growth as a quarterback. He did such a better job taking care of the football this year. And you think about tonight, when the yards were hard on the ground, he had some nice runs here early on in the game when our offense was really kind of having trouble moving the sticks.
Yeah, the downside was he did throw 2 picks, but just the whole season, it was completely different than his sophomore and junior season. It didn't seem like that he was afraid to be in the pocket. He definitely was more balanced. He was off his back feet, and it showed because he didn't throw very many interceptions this year. And so it was a great career by Bradley.
Well, you think about that sophomore year, though. He goes into the season thinking he's not going to play. He's the third-string quarterback. 2 years ago, you have a guy hurt. You have another guy leave the team. And all of a sudden, he's thrust into the limelight.
Yeah, I can still remember that Mulvane game like it was yesterday. And you just think about how much more presence he had just on the field, confidence-wise, and just a guy that, like tonight, I think about a play where, he just absolutely got buried, didn't turn it over. He had guys all over him and just did such a nice job taking care of the football, managing, and throwing for 3,000 yards in Kansas. I tell you, that's a huge accomplishment because we don't have the most optimum of weather conditions, and you throw for that many yards, that says something about your accuracy and your touch. And the other thing, too, I'm going to give some hats off to the receiving corps this year. They really did a nice job. It was a lot of different guys contributed this year, receiving the football and catching it and doing something with it afterward. And the Crusaders having a better air attack this year is one of the reasons why we won 10 games.
Well, Matt Eddy coming on there early in the year. Brock McCurdy got dinged up, missed a game. Matt really came on strong, and not only was that good for him, that made Brock McCurdy better too. It made teams have to not double Brock, and so it gave him more opportunities. And there were times when that passing game was just really good this year. So.
Yeah, and Matthew Eddy being really he'll be the top returning receiver next year, and he's going to be a huge cog of the Crusader offense next year and a very important piece of the defense as well. And that's what's going to be really the interesting thing is just with there being so many seniors starting and playing so many downs and so much time on both offense and defense, next year the team will really have to be reborn. But every football team in America pretty much every year has to be reborn as guys graduate and kind of the next man up. And so it'll be interesting to see which guys have breakout years as seniors next year for the Crusaders. But just got the final game on the Ad Astra Sports Network. Little River hangs on in a shootout tonight, 76-68. So the Little River Redskins, the defending 8-man-1 state champions, are advancing back to Fisher Field. They will take on the Meade Buffaloes next Saturday.
Can the Redskins skin the Buffaloes? Time will tell.
Time will tell.
That'll be a big one. We'll come back. We'll recap all the final scores right after this. Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Follow our Crusader football coverage on the sports page at adastraradio.com and on your phone with the Ad Astra Radio app. The Crusader Locker Room Show. You're listening to Buhler Crusader football on HKFM.
Hi, this is Jade with IdeaTech. We love bringing internet freedom to the residents and businesses of Buhler, Kansas. IdeaTech is a proud supporter and the preferred internet provider of the Buhler Crusaders. As the Crusaders know, speed wins. We back up our lightning-fast internet with a customer-first philosophy. That means you'll talk to a live person from our offices in Buhler when you call in. If you're not already a customer, go to ideatech.com and click on Check Availability, or call 620-543-5000 to inquire about our services.
During the last few years, we've seen a lot of change. One change that we're very proud of is that data shows alcohol use in Reno County 12th graders is down 11% since 2017. That's awesome. Change happens when people work towards common goals. Everyone can encourage our kids to make good choices. Thanks for being part of the solution. This is Carla from Rise Up Reno Prevention Network. Tell kids when you're proud of them. Rise Up Reno.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed. The lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
As your community bank, Prairie Bank of Kansas is always looking for ways to make banking more convenient, like e-statements. Eliminate the need to file your monthly statements. Now you can be notified the moment your statement is available and easily access it online. Sign up for e-statements online at prairiebankks.com or visit one of our locations in Stafford, Buhler, Inman, or Hutchinson. Prairie Bank of Kansas. How banking should be.
Choose Goins Renovations for your next custom tile project, kitchen, or bathroom remodel. Goins Renovations specializes in quality at a fair price. For a consultation, give them a call at 620-664-7669.
HKFM.
Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crusaders Stadium as we wrap up our coverage tonight. We've been live all season long from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth. Allen Samuels, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Hutch. Online at allensamuelshutch.com. Our scoreboard updates this year brought to you by our friends at Buhler Dental Care. Love Dr. Dal Hunt. And you will be as entertained as you are taken care of by Dr. Hunt. To stop in and see the great staff at Buhler Dental Care, from regular teeth cleanings to advanced periodontal work. Your hometown dentist is Buhler Dental Care.
Well, I have to tell a Dr. Dal Hunt story. Of course, one of his sons, Kyle Hunt, was in school with me here at Buhler, so super nice guy. But anytime you go record commercials with Dr. Hunt, you know, we'll have these nice scripts all typed out, and he'll just say, I'll just say something. And he's great. It's always fun. Super great guy.
All right, final scores tonight. Derby High in 6A is playing for a state title. They beat Lawrence 62-28 down in 2A. The Beloit Trojans over Kingman tonight, 22-19, that in Beloit. Andover Central's opponent next Friday in Topeka in 4A will be St. James Academy. They'll look to defend their 4A title as they beat the Miege Stags tonight, 42-19. We'll just run through as many scores as we have. Sedgwick over Inman tonight.
That's incorrect.
Inman over Sedgwick. I'm sorry, is that 26-21?
Yes, they had the score wrong on some of the statewide. Inman was down and scored 20 unanswered points to rally to defeat Sedgwick tonight.
How about that for the Inman Teutons, playing for a first ever state title next Saturday. In 8-man 2, Wheatland Grinnell beat Victoria tonight, 42-30. Little River comes all the way back to beat Canton Galva. What was the final score there, Christopher?
76-68, high-scoring affair tonight in in Little River.
Mays High 22, Capon 21. The Mays Eagles will play for a state title next Saturday. Blue Valley Northwest beats Blue Valley West tonight, 35-7. In the War on 24, which never stops, Rossville over Silver Lake tonight, 36-28. And two other finals that I have, and then we'll see what else Christopher has. Olpe, speaking of teams that are always playing for state titles in something, the Olpe Eagles beat Centralia tonight, 28-6. Andale, they're the two-time state champions in Class 3A. They'll be back next Saturday in Hutchinson as they beat Southeast of Saline 37-16.
All right, so going down the scores first across the Ad Astra Sports Network, and then kind of talk about some of the matchups. So you talked about the Little River Canton Galva game. So the team that will be facing Little River at Fisher Field next Saturday in Newton will be the Meade Buffaloes as they defeat Hill City. We had that game on the Ad Astra Radio app, and I had the final. Here we go, sorry. That final was 48-34, so the Meade Buffaloes, Coach Zion's alma mater, advances to Newton to play at Little River next week. Inman, you talked about, will be playing Olpe. In Class 2A, Rossville will be playing to Beloit. Beloit knocked out the Kingman Eagles tonight up at Beloit 22-19. That game was on the Ad Astra Sports Network. You mentioned Andale winning. Andale will be taking on the Frontenac Raiders at Gowan Stadium next week in Class 3A action. And then, of course, Andover Central and St. James Academy will be playing each other up in Topeka at the 4A state title game.
I know my Southeast football, Southeast Kansas, there's the chance there'll be some mob families
with Frontenac
in the stands at that Andale Frontenac game next Saturday.
You might have just got yourself some trouble, Aaron, just mentioning that.
I need to look over my shoulder from now on, don't I? So we'll have 3 state title games to bring you next Saturday here on the Ad Astra Sports Network in 8-man Division 1. From Fisher Field in Newton, it'll be Little River and Meade. From Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson, Andale and Frontenac will be the matchup in 3A. And then the 1A game will be out in Hayes at Fort Hays State. That'll be Inman and Opie, and I believe all three of those are 1 o'clock kicks on Saturday. I'm not sure about the 8-man.
Yeah, the Meade Little River game, it will be one of the early, I believe it's the 11 o'clock. Let me
They're
double
the
check.
early game, and the 8-man 2 is the late game, I
Yes,
believe.
this year. Yep, you're correct.
All right, you can find out more on our app, at Astro Radio app, and online at astroradio.com as we go throughout the rest of the playoffs. And, of course, lots of other things happening. College basketball tomorrow. Sterling College on the network. I believe that's an afternoon start. I think 2:45 for the pregame as the Warriors open the conference portion of their schedule at the Gleason against Southwestern tomorrow afternoon. Well, fellas.
I was going to say, before we sign off one final time football-wise.
Since Thanksgiving is next week, we do have to recognize the 3 turkeys in the room. Yeah. So Team Money has been on the headset with us all year. We started this program last year as a way to kind of combine our 2 efforts with COVID, and there weren't going to be fans in the stands, and so we thought, hey, let's put our efforts together and give people the best product we can, and I think both sides have grown and benefited from it. And for some reason, you don't want to hang out with us in basketball, so you're going to go manage. But we're right by the bench, so we'll still be right there next to you. But, man, you've grown as an announcer, and I'm really proud of you.
Well,
great
that's
job.
the only thing I've grown at.
Oh.
I just let the record stand that I did not make that joke.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. It was awesome. It stinks that I have to – this was the last game to do it, but give the reins to Carson, and I want to thank my other guys that do it because I wouldn't have been able to do this without them. Taking the reins from our legend, Nick Weipert, freshman year, and then talking to these dweebs to be able to –
oh, my gosh.
to be able
that
to –
is such a high school word.
to be able to – help me out with this, and so I couldn't have done it without them, and just being able to learn so much from you guys. Even though I'm not going to a career as this, it'd be fun to do it as a moonlighting thing.
Well, I'm telling you, work your tail off because I want to call your name in baseball.
Deal.
All right. Our cameraman all year, Colton Hines, who is the guy that freezes every week.
Yes, sir.
And he'll be with us for basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And but we'll be inside.
Oh, I'm glad about that.
And then the man of many talents, Mr. Warner back there. I won't give away his secret identity, his superhero.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for not giving that away.
But he does.
Some people know how to keep a secret.
He is a superhero though, and does a lot of the camera shots down to the field too. So
yes,
great job this season, man.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and he'll be with us some in basketball doing various things. So we're proud of you guys. It's been a great partnership, and Carson Muller will join us on air for basketball. We're looking forward to it. Have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Thank you so much. Christopher, we've been doing this together for a while now. You haven't been with me for all 140 of these.
No.
But you've been here for a few. So.
A few, yeah. I'll have to do the math to try to figure out how many games. But, no, it really and something else I wanted, besides thanking all the listeners and viewers, thank all of the great sponsors that help.
Absolutely.
That's something that, we get all the nice texts and emails and compliments from people around town or at church or wherever, people saying thank you for doing the games. Make sure any of those people that you've heard their spots on the games, make sure you tell the people at those businesses thank you, because they're the ones that put the gas in the tank and put the cars on the road and make this happen. And it's a team effort. And I guess that's the fun thing. It's a team effort, and we appreciate all those sponsors for helping to let us get to go cover these games. And
they're the ones that get us down the road every week.
They do, and it's a fun, and it's just neat getting to talk about all these high school kids doing positive things. I guess that's the other thing. I'll just leave, not to get all too reminiscing or whatnot, but with all the negative things that go on in the world, it is just so fun and refreshing to get to see kids out there competing, doing things they love, and just trying to battle hard for our community and our school district, and doing things the right way. And they've been a fun group of young men to call, and it's just it's an honor to get to be associated with these kids, and this fine school.
Well, I'll tell you what, I changed my dream a long time ago. I was going to be the next Denny Matthews. Unfortunately, Denny Matthews is still doing his thing.
Yes.
Either that or Bob Davis. Those are not, two guys, not bad shoes to follow in. But I learned long time ago that you build the relationships you build covering high school sports way better than the attention you'd get from being a celebrity at some big level of broadcast. It really is. And that's what keeps me going every year is just those relationships. So
no doubt. Well, it's been fun, Aaron. It's been fun, gentlemen. Thank you.
Well, we'll see you 2 weeks from tonight in the gym. Mentioned it is a Gold Out Night, very special cause, and we want to help support and rally around our friends from Nickerson who suffered a tragic loss earlier this year. So come out, and it'll be the season opener for our Crusader ladies and our Crusader men. Crusader men returning 2 starters in Isaiah Hernandez and Jack Voth on the inside. They'll kind of carry the load this year. And on the ladies' side, they'll have a couple of players back, but a lot of youth this year for Coach Mitchell Stetter. So we'll see you 2 weeks from tonight for Crusader basketball. One final coaches show with Coach Steve Warner. That'll come up Monday night at 6:30 live from Taco John's. A lot going on in the area this weekend. Our parade tomorrow morning at 10. And get out and support our NJCAA volleyball. Those ladies are fantastic to watch. A lot of fun, and they have some crazy names. Oh, boy, do they have some crazy names. So fun stuff. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. Andover Central over Buhler here in the 4A sub-state round of the state playoffs. For I don't know who all is left here, and if I can get all their names right. But for my crew, appreciate you guys, and have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. You've been listening to Crusader Football here on HKFM.
Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hutch are